Seeing about two females aesthetically, I'm like, okay, that's something I usually go after. But I was surprised because I seen Sahara. I'm like, oh, she coming back to bring problems. She want trouble. But we gonna see.
Hey guys, welcome to Little Black Burnt 91. Listen, we're talking to you guys about Ready to Love. My oh my oh my. Listen, this episode was actually quite interesting. I can't lie to you. I think there was a lot of things I wanted to break down, a lot of things I wanted to take apart, a lot of things I wanted to kind of dissect in this particular episode as well. So I can't lie, I can't wait to chop it up, can't wait to break it down all for you guys as well. And get a perspective that will hopefully help some of you guys while in your dating realm. You know what I mean? But this episode was interesting, right? We had Wayne, who unfortunately got eliminated. Okay, I mean, listen, and I can't lie to you. Yeah, he needed to. Okay, I'm tired of people coming out here talking about how slow it needs to be for them, and that I'm not a person that rushes things. And I'll actually break down Wayne a little bit as well, because some of the things he was saying I didn't even make sense, but. Wayne got eliminated, and rightly so, right? Cam was also in the bottom, and I understand why Cam was in the bottom, okay? I can understand why Cam was in the bottom, because in essence, we haven't had much depth from him. Now, unfortunately, him and Deonna didn't get along. I felt like Deonna just took it. Deonna just let him know that she ain't for the doo-doo. She ain't here for the talk. She ain't here for all the nonsense that Cam is bringing to the table. She said, just because me and you are firefighters does not mean we're on the same level. I feel it was a little bit rude, but anyway, hey ho. That was interesting. Then obviously we got to see more of COLEY. COLEY came out here as well. COLEY was showing more of herself. She was a little bit more vulnerable, and I think that's why now we can understand why she was laughing so much in the first episode. I wish Will would have taken a book out of COLEY's book, which is, COLEY was actually opening herself up and sharing more of what she had been through to give people a better understanding. So that was good. We got Shanice also. Shanice was also quite vibrant. She let us know as well by going into her past, talking about what she had gone through, and spoke about how she was homeless. She was broke 2 times, and she just remembers people that have always supported her and helped her along the way. Then we had a little bit of Angie as well. Angie, we're going to need Angie. Angie, I'm going to need you to stop following these men. Stop it. Angie, look at me. Stop it. Angie, look at me. Stop it. Okay? You're sounding like you're begging for these men to take you out. Stop it. That is not what a woman does. You've got to be a bit more demure, a little bit more classy. You know what I'm saying to you, darling? Listen, use your abilities as a woman to commandeer a man in that direction. Don't tell him to go there. Don't demand it. Okay? Just move. Right? You exchange numbers. He ain't talking, right? But don't demand it. It never works. Because she did it twice. She did it with Wayne, and then she ended up doing it with Cam and say, if you really want me to check, stop it. Stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it. Stop it, Angie. Okay? You're too beautiful for this, darling. Okay? You're too beautiful. Stop it. All right? Stop it. Then we also had Deonna and Cisco, who obviously got into a little bit of a conversation. She says she likes his alpha male presence. Listen, Cisco's got definitely a good energy about him, especially because he's quite sizable, quite large. He's quite, got an assertive presence. So I can see why Deonna was attracted to Cisco. They both love fitness and everything as well. So it seemed like he was up the right alley as well. So shout out to them as well on that particular connection. But really and truly, his eye was on Tay. If we gonna be really honest, his eye was on Tay. If we gonna be really honest, his eye was on Tay. That boy was not trying to see anybody else but Tay. And I think, if I'm honest with you, I don't know how serious he is about Tay, but I know he has Tay locked up like a parrot in a cage. Okay? And Tay is about to be a victim. She don't even know it, but she about to be a victim. When he went over there and was talking about how, he has got no other connection really apart from her, and he was looking for her and, wondering where she was and all that kind of stuff, I said he gone locked her in like a parrot in a cage. I hope she knows what she's doing, because old boy about to put that work in for her. Shout out to Tay as well, because Tay is actually one of the favorite people on the show. She is wanted by all the men on the show, okay, which is really interesting as well. Like, that all the men seem to be really drawn to Tay. It's her lightness, it's her bubbliness, it's her beautifulness. It is just good vibes and good energy, her softness. I think a lot of people like that about her. Now, I'm gonna show you this clip a little bit later on. Don't play with Tay now. Okay? Tay knows what she's doing. She got a little dark arts in her. Okay? You play with Tay at your own risk. Tay acting like she, but I'm telling you, she got a tongue on her. And I don't mean anything nasty. I mean, straight up, she got some words to go. Okay, all right, she got some words to go. When she was having a conversation with, it might have been, who was it with? She was having a conversation with, I can't remember. Was it Fritz or Khalil? With Khalil, she had a conversation with Khalil, and they was talking about, about not using your words to hurt people. Now, the only reason why people say about not using words to hurt people is people who use words to hurt people, and they know what it is. They have experience. That's when I knew straight away. Oh, don't play with Tay. Oh, Tay gonna have you up here like here. She gonna be happy like what? Ready to squabble up. You know what I'm saying? She don't play with Tay. So shout out to Tay as well for that as well. NAEEM again making jokes. No, I'm not making jokes, but obviously, Tay obviously she was open to it, she said. I don't know how open she was, but she spoke to NAEEM, which was interesting because NAEEM going to tell us again he got 5 kids and 3 baby mothers, and he also there trying to get somebody. I don't know how it's going to happen there. Jay and KIARA going strong again once more. I'm starting to see more of it. Jay and KIARA, I can see it. I can see why. KIARA's a very beautiful girl. She is funny, but she's also got a little bit of that childishness. I think that's what Jay likes. And I think a lot of men like this, right? She allows herself to be taken care of. So KIARA's like, almost like when she said that I was so infuriated. My avoidance side was so infuriated by what KIARA, you have no petrol in your tank. I was so annoyed. And I remember that's my avoidance side. My avoidance side doesn't like people that are not independent on normal things, right? Like, I don't like that kind of stuff. It infuriates me. But I'm changing, I'm learning, I'm growing. But that worked for Jay and a lot of other people because obviously Jay likes to take care of people, right? But for me, when she told me she had no gas, I said, what the hell? Why have you got no gas in your car? Like, no, for real. Like, why you not got no gas in your car? Like, yo, why have you not got gas in your car? Like, this is not, like, for me, it just irritated me. But I understand also at the same time, she playing that damsel in distress. She wearing the heck out of that damsel in distress. You know what I'm saying to you? Okay, all right. I get it. I understand. I hear it. Okay, cool. And then obviously, Shanice and Hussein as well had their conversation. Hussein again has become one of the popular people as well. So, Hussein seems to be somebody who is getting liked for the women, but Shanice started liking him because she found out that obviously that he's tall, and he said he wanted to catch her if she fell. So she's also in that because she's always saving everybody else. So everybody else that now she needed saving. We'll have to discuss that another time. We'll definitely do a deep dive on Shanice for that. And then we had COLEY, Angie, Wayne, and Eddie have a situation as well, which was quite interesting as well. COLEY, Angie, Wayne, and Eddie, because COLEY obviously let us know that her brother passed away on that day, but she always tries to celebrate him. It was actually good seeing her in a more vulnerable state. I can't lie to you. I actually found her far more attractive in this episode when she began to share a bit more of her heart. Because all that laughing that she was doing first episode, yeah, it was a complete turn off. I thought you were an unserious candidate. But this episode, I saw more of COLEY and I said, okay, I like it, COLEY. I like where you're going with it. I appreciate it. Continue. You know what I'm saying to COLEY. And then obviously, Eddie shared as well that he also lost his father at 7. So, he's had to be obviously an independent individual. I wonder how that's going to play about in roles in relationships as well. So that's interesting as well. And then again, Angie and Wayne had their situation. I won't go for that because again, we've spoke about that. And then we had Fritz with Rocky. Rocky said obviously she likes the fact that Fritz is a mama's boy. She's a daddy's girl. And, she loves the fact that he respects his mum. Okay. Now the girls obviously then went into the vault and discussed who they liked, who they didn't like. And a few of the people obviously we knew who they were, but overall was that Hussein had obviously improved. A lot of the ladies liked him, and then there was also Eddie, Fritz, who had also got a few votes as well in that space as well, and Khalil as well got some. But the boys that were failing seemingly seemed to be Wayne, Cam, and there was also Eddie got one of the votes as well from Rocky. But other than that, I think it was mainly going to be Wayne and Cam. And to be fair, here's where I'm going to, because I've got a few minutes, I'm going to break down Wayne for you guys really quickly, because some of the things he was saying was like, I was looking at him like, broski, what are we talking about here, fam? What are we talking about here? So let's have a look at what he was doing, and we'll break it down as well. So let's break down a little bit of his scene. Okay.
But I didn't do that. It was so lovely meeting you, dear.
It was so good.
I appreciate you.
Yes, yes, yes. Take care.
I didn't expect to go home, but I'm quite proud of how I moved.
All right, cool. So before I break him down all the way, because I don't want to get no copyright, here's my thing. So Wayne is interesting. I'll tell you why Wayne is interesting, because he told us, right, that he's a slow burner. Okay, he's a slow burner. And I want to be honest with you, he's not a slow burner. Okay, I want to be very honest with you, he's not a slow burner. As he said, right, he actually told us what the actual issue was. He said when he's dating, he's so on his routine. Yeah, that when he checks, he said when it gets to 5 to 7 days and he hasn't contacted you, I said get the frick out of it. You're not a serious candidate. I'm sorry, you're not a serious candidate. You're afraid of commitment. It's okay, but you're not a serious candidate. 5 to 7 days we're waiting to hear a message from you, my guy. And you think that's normal? I said get the frick out of it. Wayne, go sit down. Go and sit down somewhere. Go and sit down somewhere. You're not a serious candidate, man. I don't care about if you're a man or a woman. You're not a serious candidate. But actually, I'll do a deeper breakdown later on in the week. That particular behavior is an avoidant trait, right? Where he gets so stuck in his own routine where only he thinks about him. And this actually tells us that he's afraid of not only commitment, but he's afraid of rejection. So really and truly, him not contacting the ladies. I don't think he really liked Angie like that anyway, to be honest, to contact her. And I don't know if he was really feeling COLEY like that to give the number to either. But he gave the number to COLEY, which was very different to the Angie one. So I don't know. What I would say is, when you're telling me that you have to wait 5 to 7 days before you break your own routine, you don't know how to get out of your own world. Which is why I said to you earlier on, when he started telling us about how his parents were, I said to you, pay attention. I told you last week, these people that do this whole, I'm a mama's boy, I start looking at you some way, because whenever they start telling me that, I'm looking at them some way like, why are you a mama's boy? What does that really mean? You know what I'm saying to you? Like, what have you experienced that you are a mama's boy? I said, no. Wayne, go and sit down somewhere. Go and sit down somewhere. And then he had the audacity to say, like, I was true to myself, I didn't want people, what did he say? He said, I don't care what nobody thinks, I'm not here to stroke people's ego. And I said, so then why are you here? Why are you here? Because you didn't even look serious. If you're not here to stroke anybody's ego, you didn't even look serious. So why are you here? Somebody talk to me. Why is Wayne here? Right? And it told me all I need to know. He don't like rejection. And I'm not saying that in a bad way, but I think you got put in the bottom with low effort and realize they're not going to accept it, right? But now you're trying to play it off like you're cool and you're not embarrassed by what happened. You're embarrassed. It's okay. We all get embarrassed, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's embarrassing, yes, that you got sent home, you know what I'm saying, so early. It's embarrassing. And you put low effort into the situation. But I want to see if I can get the clip where he was talking.
Interesting.
So the ladies and I have
Hold on, let me get a little clip.
Getting her hang, I'm not necessarily all the way in, but I know it's been a good 5 or 7 days, and this person...
A good 5 or 7 days. He said, listen, I'm not all the way in, but it's good a good 5 or 7. That brother will leave you on read for 5 to 7 days and let him do. And I know where that comes from. When you're feeling emotionally overwhelmed, he needs therapy quick. He needs therapy quick because he's gone through a lot of trauma and he's overwhelmed. When there's too much emotional energy and too much emotions going on, he's overwhelmed. He needs to go to some therapy. And therapy doesn't even need to see a therapist. He needs to start working on that emotional safety, right? Because you're overloaded. You're too sensitive, and it's because you haven't done the work to have actually emotional safety. But because you don't often commit yourself to relationships, you won't even see the biggest problem about it. You won't even see the biggest problem about it because you move relationships on whatever time and terms you have. So it doesn't even look like much of a problem. But the problem is you are the problem. You're the problem, right? That's not to be rude. It's just to be real. Like, he's emotionally overwhelmed. So he needs to go and do the work to build a greater capacity to be able to receive those emotions, right? I'm sure the show was probably overwhelming for him, right? Having too many people have too many expectations. One of the biggest things about an avoidant is their biggest fear is letting people down. So if you actually listen to him, listen to what he actually said. Now I'll play the clip. Listen to what he said.
And expects to see me, but then it feels like an obligation, so then I'm not as excited.
So he said, listen, it's when they expect to see me and then it feels like an obligation. I know exactly what that feels like. As an avoidant, I know exactly what that feels like. I don't like people putting expectations on me. But what the actual fear is of disappointment. You don't want to let people down and you don't want to be a disappointment. So you'd rather just disconnect and not have any expectations. Problem that the root of that is you've been disappointed before. You've been disappointed. You've experienced major disappointment in your life, which is why I said that him being a mama's boy, I said, what else is missing? Because something else is missing, right? He's talking about his brother and how great his brother is with a family unit, but something for you specifically, you saw something that for you impacted you in such a way that you can't deal with any disappointment. So you cut out that process, which is why he creates the 5 to 7 days. He's actually teaching you how he's going to behave with you so that you don't create any expectations. So when he shows up, right, and here's what's going to happen. He's going to give you 5 to 7 days. If you don't get excited about him showing up in 5 to 7 days when he turns up eventually, he's going to remove himself again. He'll be like, you don't respect me, you don't appreciate me, you don't really like me like that, blah, blah, blah. He's going to go into a whole lot of spiral and diatribe. Because really and truly, he's looking for acceptance. But he hasn't accepted himself. And so, unfortunately, right, in that space, he cannot be taken seriously for commitment because he's not committed. And I've been there, so I know what this looks like, right? I mean, 5 to 7 days is crazy. I can't lie to you. 5 to 7 days is crazy. But I remember being in that place at a point in time where it's like I can only do 2 or 3 days, and then after that it's too much. But it's because you're afraid that you will have no identity and individuality. So your fear is somebody consuming you and you being lost in their world. And really what that is a fear that you have no control. And it's because more than likely what you've experienced as a child is that your environment and your world was being controlled for you. You never had no control. And so because of that, when you go into the dating field, anytime a woman comes and approaches like Angie, he was immediately turned off. Now I'm looking at it, he was turned off. He was never into Angie. The moment Angie was pushing, he was always flying away. Because why? That creates expectation. That creates expectation. And if you have those expectations, it feels like an obligation. And I don't want to be obligated. I don't want to be what? Obligated. Why? Because I don't want to be controlled. It's not the obligation. It's what it makes him feel like. The obligation makes him feel like he's being controlled. And so in that space, I don't want to be in a place where you get to have an obligation and I'm controlled, or I can let you down. And then you can spin it on me again. So he looks like he's very calm and chill. He's not very calm and chill. What I mean by that is he looks like, like he's just a calm person. No, he's nonchalant. And he's nonchalant because he's afraid that if he puts himself forward, there can be rejection. And in that space, he can let somebody down or be disappointed, or people can feel disappointed by him. And that's going to make him feel bad. Because and now you feeling disappointment. I disappointed you. I feel bad. Your emotions affect me. This is actually about, again, and I can't wait to do a deeper dive for this. I will definitely do a deeper dive in this another day for you guys, a specific breakdown on this. This is really important for a lot of people. They do this a lot, right? They don't want to have too many expectations and obligations because it feels like they're being trapped. It feels like there's a line, man. Now, obviously, everyone has a spectrum, right? Some people are okay with a relationship, but when you get to work, you're like, don't do that to me. Don't put too many expectations on me. Or it might be in family, and his family like, okay, people have too many expectations. I don't like it. But his is on a very extreme end where he's saying he needs 5 to 7 days. You know what I'm saying to you? So there are various degrees of this emotional feeling that he's overwhelmed, right? So that is a very overwhelming. That for me is very much aligned with dismissive avoidant. Someone else says it fearful avoidant. No, fearful avoidants often operate like that because they have an anxious attachment, which means they need you. They feel like they need you, so they need to close that gap. They can't do 5 to 7 days. An avoidant who's dismissive, this is what you see an extreme dismissive person. 5 to 7 days. What probably happened is he witnessed something that was traumatic between his parents or whatever he saw, and he couldn't address it. So the only way to do it is to dismiss what you saw and what you experienced. So you dismiss the emotions that you feel in that moment, the trauma that you have, you suppress it, you push it down, and you dismiss it. But it actually seeps out in the way that you behave. So when you're operating with other people, when we talk about emotional safety, you have to understand that one of the parts of emotional safety is how do you feel when you're in a belonging, or how do you feel when you're making risks versus mistakes? How do you feel when it comes to saying difficult emotions? How does it feel when it comes to happiness? Like I remember at a point in time, I used to struggle with happiness. It's scary. Like you don't realize as soon as you get happy, you're like, there's something probably coming around the corner in the next 3 days. You know what I mean? I got to get myself ready. Like you can't ever be happy and be fully happy because you're like, I have to be prepared for whatever next challenge is coming. Life is about challenges, so I've got to be ready for a challenge coming. And what you're doing is you're dismissing your own emotions. You can't stay in a place of contentment for very long. So this dismissiveness, it shows up in various different ways. But for Wayne specifically, it's like, I'm not going to be swallowed. I'm not going to be swallowed. And I'm not going to be consumed. And so that's why we're seeing what we're seeing with Wayne, unfortunately. So there's a lot of work that Wayne is going to do. If I was a lady, if you're watching this, don't think you can save him. You can't save him. He needs to go and do some work on his own. He should not be in a relationship. He should settle down first and go and heal some of those parts so he can actually have a bit more of an even balance. Right now it's extreme. Because even if he didn't want Angie, he could have communicated with Angie and said, Angie, listen, I can't be honest with you. Listen, look, let me at least just get to know you a little bit. You know what I'm saying to you? He didn't have to commit to the relationship. In his head, the moment Angie gave him the number, he's already thinking that she wants him so bad that he can't do anything because she'll feel some type of way. Because he's already projecting how she's gonna feel. So he's already being trapped by her emotions, even though she may not have said anything. Just by her simply offering her number, in his head, he feels like I'm being trapped by her emotions. If I get too close, I can't get out. If I go on any dates, I'm trapped because now you might start feeling me and then you're going to make me feel bad because you feel like maybe I should have loved you more or given you more or spent more time with you, and I start feeling bad. So the nonchalant behavior comes out. The 5 to 7 days comes out. It's work he needs to do. It's work he needs to do. It's work he needs to do. Swallowed. But anyway, listen. I'll do a full breakdown in the middle of the week for you guys as well. So we'll definitely break it down for you guys a bit more and hopefully help some other people in that space. Let me get Elsid on, and then the rest of the gang will come and join in a few minutes as well. But it's definitely something we'd love to talk about. Hello, Elsid. What are you telling me?
Good evening.
What's good?
You talking about Wayne and his bang yang yangs?
Yes, we are, baby. Talk to me. What are you saying?
Golly. I mean, why is he here? It's screaming that the production needed an extra gentleman and they found him on IG and he's like, I'm just here. I'm just here. It's screaming he don't want anything that's there, but he didn't even look like he was interested in anyone. Did he even make an attempt? Did he make an effort? And by effort, it's giving he wants her to make the effort, but then I don't want too much effort because that's when he tossed Angie to the side. Then Angie got her team of brothers. He gonna really have to put in an effort because she got 4 to 6 brothers. Yeah, he ain't want all that. He ain't want all that. I don't know. It's just saying I'm here. I'm an extra dude, and I ain't interested in anybody because even COLEY, she didn't ask him why he didn't contact her. He didn't ask her. She didn't ask him. He didn't ask her. We had a conversation. We had a drink, and it's gone. So he clearly, it doesn't matter. No interest, too much interest. He didn't want to be there. I'm sorry. He didn't want to be there.
Yeah, it seemed like he didn't want to be there. I think what's interesting, obviously, about the situation with Wayne as well is that I feel like at the end as well, even though he didn't want to be there, his comment. So I remember he made a comment. He said, obviously he's not here to stroke nobody's ego. I thought that was a bit odd. I was like, well, then I know you're not here to stroke anybody's ego, but why? If you don't care about the process, why are you making that comment? What do you feel like his motivation was saying that comment? Because this felt a bit weird, him saying that. If you don't care, then just leave, innit? It's not a big deal. What was your thoughts of that?
To me, that screams he's not going to chase you. And he is the prize. And he'll be waiting here when you're ready, but then he's not going to activate until he's ready. It's a waste of time.
Okay. I definitely hear that. And I mean, listen. I think with the Wayne situation, it was right that they eliminated him anyway because, like I said, I felt like he wasn't really offering much. And when they even asked him about why they haven't texted, he just said obviously I was so busy, I was tired, I was in bed, and I was like, that's fine. So why not communicate? And I think there's a lesson for a lot of people in dating in general, right? Wayne is probably the extreme of any event, but I think what's key about this that can be learned for a lot of people is communicate. If you know you're tired, you weren't sleeping all 24 hours, 48 hours, 72 hours. And by the way, this is me as well too. So I'm highlighting me at certain points too. I can be better at my communication. So I'm calling him out, but I'm calling myself out. You can be better at communicating, right? You're trying to date people on that show and you have their numbers. And if they message you, Angie's messaging you, just say, listen, hey, I can't lie to you. This weekend's not going to be a good weekend. But I don't believe he even believes he can even do that. that's the thing about dismissive avoidance. They don't even believe they even can do that, and that's what I'm saying about he has to sit on the bench because he's actually really far away. He's where I was when I was 24. It's like there's nothing you can tell me. Like I don't care. I'm going to take 3 or 4 days break, and I'm going to come back, and you better love me when I come back.
He needs a parade when he comes back. It needs to be a full-on parade. Hey, you're back. Oh my gosh, I missed you. Where have you been? And the puppy eyes and soaking in everything that he would like to say. And he's not gonna get that especially in Philly. I'm sorry. He ain't gonna get that in Philly. So he does want that parade. He wants that adoration when he returns on his terms, but it's giving he really didn't want to be there. He didn't want to be dating. It's like in your own time, you don't sign up for speed dating. This is about, running fast. And he's like, yeah, whatever. But not calling or communicating. Yeah, I remember that in the 20s, but that's when you wanted to build somebody's anticipation, but he too grown for this.
Welcome to you. Well done, Sean. We're talking about obviously Wayne. He got obviously eliminated. Okay, so they got rid of Wayne and said it's not his world. So I definitely want to hear your perspectives on Wayne, how you see it. I'd love to hear from Seaway too. What would you? I mean, of course you're married, so I know you can't say it now. But if a man took 5 to 7 days to message you back, I would love to know your perspective. I can't ask Sean because he loves women. But if a man obviously took 5 to 7 days to message you back, how would you feel about that?
Hey everyone, hey panelists, hey audience. Yeah, no, if a man takes more than a day to get back to me, actually I kind of felt like if I went an entire day without hearing from you, then you're just unserious and not interested, just in my opinion. And so I was actually really proud that the group was able to kind of suss him out so quickly and determine that he was unserious, because you're just not, or you're just unserious about these women. But I think, like you were saying earlier, Kojo, it was a little bit of both. I don't think he was interested in any of the women on there, and he also thinks from his conversation with Deonna, right, or that's her name, that this is appropriate behavior to be so stuck in your day to day that you can't find time to talk to the person that you're interested in. So I'm glad they didn't try to make excuses for him and they had him just go about his way, because that's you're not trying to seriously date, trying to get to know someone like that. So I was very proud that they got rid of him. Very, very proud.
Appreciate Seaway. Sean, what's your thoughts on this? Because obviously, like, we're talking about obviously dating, and we're talking about obviously helping people be in their best, dating form. He had some information. Well, I say information, but he spoke to Deonna and then said all that at the end. But how did you view Wayne, and what was your thoughts on him?
Wayne with the bayang. Yeah, I think they finally got it right. They finally got it right on who needs to go first. Because sometimes, they'll let some folk go, and we'll be like, "Come on, you didn't give the person a shot." Nah, he needed to go. He was showing underwhelming energy. He was being low key rude too. Because it's like we're in this is like a speed dating kind of process. You're taking numbers. Say what it is. At least give the women a shot. Talk to them, before you even like, oh, I'm not interested. I know they're not even my type, So yeah, I thought Wayne was definitely a buzzkill, and he needed to go. And I'm glad they did send him on his merry way. And in perfect form, when he was eliminated, he was like, I'm not changing nothing. So therefore, he's not ready to love. But I do think, and we'll probably talk about this in other instances, that that young lady, I think her name Angie, the hairstylist lady, she needs to relax. I know that's not one of Seaway's favorite words, but Angie needs to relax, calm down, calmate, all the words. She needs to just dial it back. She's
the one that confronted him? The one that confronted him? Mm-hmm. Hey, Abby, I think she's a bartender.
Oh, yeah, you're right. That's right. She is a bartender.
I remember it. Don't ask me why, but I know the one that was married before, and then she,
now she come out, turn up married this time. And before it was she was engaged, but the person passed away, and then she told her she was married. You know?
Yes, I don't know if she was engaged to the love of her life and then she was also married when she was in her 20s.
Yeah, I think that's
Yeah.
how it worked.
Maybe it was both. Okay.
Yeah, both.
So she just got a lot to her. I just need her to dial it back a little bit, though. She's a little too. It's too much. It's too hot and heavy. I get it. You want to address it, but give him a chance to, you know, come to you. You know, that's all.
All right, cool.
So wait the 5 to 7 days.
Look, if he wants to, he will. That's, I think that, listen, far be it for me to tell women what to do. You guys have agency. So if you want to chase after a man, you can knock yourselves out. But I'm telling you, if he wants to, he will. And if a man is not calling you after you've pretty much gave him your number, if he don't reach out to you, then he don't want to. Okay. I don't care what excuse he gives. We'll talk about, you know, man bun and his 5 kids and 3 baby mamas, you know. We'll talk about him too, but it's the same thing. If people want to, they will, especially a man. You shouldn't have to come and collect a man if you've exchanged information with him, you know.
I was talking to my husband about this, and I think that, you know, as a woman, it's always good to be direct. I think you get one heads up, one SOS, one FYI, one I'm just about to let you know. You know, you could give one of those because sometimes a man is just not aware of what they're doing and they get a little snap in shape and they'll be fine. But when you're at 2, 3, 4, I think the problem was is that she was on number 3 of her FYIs to this man. And it's just like, this man doesn't need another FYI. You get one. And I think women, we should be okay with giving one so you can say that you did what you needed to do and you did all you could do. You know, so there's no shame in giving an FYI. You know, I'm not going to put that in the pick me category. I think that's just being direct and saying what you want. But after that, you know, as Sean eloquently said, we're not going to go gather a man. We're not going to collect him. Okay. If what did Glorilla said, if he don't want to be kept, don't keep him. Glorilla been told y'all, okay? Just let him go. He don't want to be kept, don't keep him.
What's that
Remember,
song? It's a viral song. He's scared of this. He's scared. If he's scared of it, he's scared. Just leave him alone. He's scared of it. You know, just let him be scared.
He's scared of something, that's for sure.
Well, remember, she's in HR, and that is the minute she was doing that, I said, girl, he does not need a corrective action plan. He does not. Just let him go, vote him out, and that's exactly what they did. At least she didn't try to hold on to him, you know, when they're talking in the ladies' lounge. But I was like, why are you giving him first, you know, the oral warning, written warning? I mean, what are we doing? You know, it's a quick process. Just vote him out.
So what's the advice we're gonna give Wayne then? Because obviously he got eliminated. So what dating advice would we give Wayne? So if we were sitting in front of Wayne, we're looking at Wayne now, Wayne's talking to us, what is the honest advice you would give Wayne? And I mean honest advice. We need it straight, honest, no chaser.
I think be a little bit more direct. Like, I think he was halfway there, right? He didn't want to lead the women on to collect votes. Okay, so I'll give him that. But if you're not interested, you know, I mean, just don't go around collecting numbers, because people, as a man, you're supposed to be showing intent, and that shows like intent to contact. That's number one. And number two, I would tell him, if you're not ready to pursue a woman, you don't have to. Like, you can do you and do whatever you're doing. But if you're going to pursue a woman of value, no woman of value is going to be sitting around waiting 5 days for you to contact them. So that's on him. But to me, I'm assuming that you want something because you're on Ready to Love, right? You're here amongst everybody else looking for love. So if you're really looking for love, then you should look for love seriously. And if you found out from this that you're not ready, then just wait. Nobody's forcing you into the market. But you couldn't do that type of stuff at your job. You couldn't wait 5 days to answer your boss. You can't wait 5 days to answer your mama. Why do you think you're going to wait 5 days to answer? Like, just be serious. That would be my advice if you're going to do it.
I'm sure he wouldn't, if he showed interest, I'm sure he wouldn't want to wait 5 to 7 days to hear from the lady he was interested in. So, don't exhibit behaviors you wouldn't like to receive either. He needs to just communicate. First of all, just communicate. If you don't like or don't wish to pursue this lady, say, hey, thank you for your number. But, I don't wish to pursue things at this time. That's it. But you're leaving the ladies here hanging. She even has to have a conversation. Just state your intentions. It's okay not to want to pursue Angie or COLEY or any of the ladies there. You take a number probably because you want to be polite. But hey, just say, hey, you know what? I really don't see it. But you see, I don't know if it's the nature of the game of Ready to Love, because if he says that, then he knows he's voted out. And here he is, didn't say that, and he's still voted out. So I think he needs to just state his intention.
Yeah, well, listen, considering Wayne said that he don't want advice and he thinks that he's got it, he wouldn't do nothing different. I'm just going to keep it very minimal. He needs to figure out what he wants and then go after that. If it's to be by himself and not date, then do that. And, spend your time how you want to. And I think he needs to go see that lady. Go see that lady and talk, and that lady, for those who don't know, when somebody says see that lady, that means go sit on the therapist couch, and there's nothing wrong with it. Doesn't mean he's a bad person. Doesn't mean he's got some serious issue. It just means, talk through your process, because unless production forced him by dragging him, by his bayang up to, Ready to Love's production, I don't know why he showed up, because he showed up very disinterested and like it was a bother for him to even be there. So that's my 2 cents.
Appreciate it, gang. Let me read it. Super panel there. Can I get some podcast? Just stopped in to say what's up. It's good to have another level-minded brother on Fatty's panel the other day. Have a good show. Shout out to you as well. Can I get some podcast? I was on another panel the other day, so thank you very much for the donation. I'll probably see you again next week as well. So we'll see you again soon. Listen, audience, we are going to be discussing the rest of Ready to Love, the episode 3. I think it was an interesting episode. I'll play some clips for you guys when we do each person we talk about, so you know who we're talking about. But there was a lot to discuss on this episode. So if you want to be part of the conversation once more again, and you're enjoying the video breakdown, I want to let you know we are about to go members only in the chat. Yes, the lives, most of the time, we're going to go members only. So if you're not a member, join the membership now. How you can do that, there is a $sign underneath the chat. Click on it, and then it says join membership. It's £1 and $1. I made it cheap so that it's fun and easy, and so that you don't see it missing. Okay, I would say it costs as much as a coffee, but your coffee costs more. Okay, all right. I'm not asking you to give up anything else apart from £1 or $1. So if you haven't done so, make sure you join the membership, because it's about to go membership only in the chat. And we're gonna have some fun tonight talking about Ready to Love, and then tomorrow night we got Love Is Blind for episode 7 to 9, and I know a lot of you got some talk about that. So if you want to be part of that conversation, again, once more in the chat, make sure you are joining the membership. Okay, someone said I would join, but I'm broke. I'm kidding. I am finished. Shout out to Phil once more again for dropping 10 memberships for the people. Them Phil, we will never get tired of you offering up more to other people. I certainly won't. I got some bills to pay. Okay, so you keep on giving out those free memberships to people, because some people are broke, as they said. So we appreciate you. Let me just play a little clip for you.
Is U.S. the new king?
They say the memberships brings all the boys and the girls to the yard. All right, listen. So we're gonna go membership only in the chat. So if you haven't joined, please join. It's a $sign underneath the chat, and you can also join the festivities and the conversations on these lives as well. Because I'm seeing a lot of white names, not literally white, but white names in terms of color. And that still doesn't help because it's not clarifying what I'm saying. But anyway, you know what I mean. All right, listen. Let's get into this. Yes, Sean.
Oh, I just wanted to clarify for people that might be new. It just means you can't comment. You can still view the live.
Thank you.
You can't join us in the commenting as a non-member. So please, if you are falling on hard times, we know this economy, especially in the United States, is rough out here. So feel free to watch us.
You ain't telling no lies. Yes, I'll Sid.
In order to receive a gifted membership, just make sure in your YouTube settings it has it open to being gifted a membership. That way, if anyone like Phil's decides to bless the channel, you are open to gifted membership. You also have to be a subscriber. So just to let you know how to increase your chances of being gifted a membership.
Thank you very much, Elsid. I appreciate that as well. Thank you for clearing that, and Sean as well. We appreciate that. Always appreciate the help. I can't lie to you because I'll be forgetting a lot of stuff. So thank you. But yes, listen, we are ready to go forward with a conversation now and talk about Ready to Love. Let's get our first clip up because the first person I wanted, obviously, we're having a conversation was this couple here. I want to get your thoughts. Wow, I didn't even see that Deonna was in the background. That is an amazing shape. Let me continue. Focus. Let me focus. Let me put the sound up so you actually hear it.
A great job. What about you?
Yeah, it's time to settle down. I'm very serious. I want to build like an empire. So I'm very intentional.
I want to get your thoughts, not on Deonna, but I want to get your thoughts on Eddie and the body was body in. Baby, the shape was shaping. Shout out to her. My oh my, had to open my Bible again. But obviously Eddie and COLEY were obviously having a conversation, and he said he's very intentional, and she said spoke a little bit about her life as well, so that she wants to be able to relax and enjoy life a little bit more. She's taking her second chance more seriously as well. Okay, so I wanted to get your perspective on obviously their little conversation. Just quickly, how did you feel about that conversation between Eddie and COLEY? Do you feel like Eddie is intentional so far in terms of what you've seen? Do we feel like Eddie is more intentional in that aspect? See what Don said. She didn't need to say anything, but she answered already.
Well, she's not opening her mic, so I'm going to say the both of them are beautiful gowns. He's a handsome guy. He ain't saying much. He just bumping his gums. He's just hanging out. He's gonna hang around because of his looks and his height, But he ain't talking about nothing. I'm telling you, nothing. You can hear the wind blow when he talking. And the same for COLEY. Beautiful gowns, but she's a cloud dweller. Bless her heart.
Not a cloud.
And you know what? He came looking like he's in his pajamas. So from then I was like, he is totally unserious and not here. Those pants look like the pajama loungers. You head into the store. Let me put this mic on. Let me go talk to these people and just be here. But yeah, they both were like, it was just something to capture. I'm glad they captured the conversation because we continue to see how beautiful Deonna looks in the background. That's about it.
Y'all are killing me about that wagon in the back. Yeah. Well, let me say something positive. What I did think about this conversation, I was like, they both seem to be on the same level. I felt like she rose a little bit, and I feel like he kind of dropped a little bit. I don't remember him giving beautiful gowns last time. I thought he gave a little more, but they both seem to be at the same just level, and I was like, this may work. She's floating in the clouds. He seems to be saying a whole bunch of nothing. Why not? Why not? So I thought it was kind of positive. For sure. I mean, he's giving way more empty than I anticipated, but, it is what it is.
Now, they obviously had a bit more of interaction here. So we'll discuss that conversation here.
Special or that will make him proud?
You sure I'm not making them proud now?
Yes, you are. Can we toast to him? Let's toast to this man. What's his name? Jason. Come on, Jason. You.
Okay, so COLEY and obviously brother Eddie were talking on the table, and they were discussing, unfortunately, a painful situation where obviously she had lost her brother, and he also had lost his father. He mentioned about being at 7 years old. I want to get your thoughts on that because obviously they shared that moment, and she obviously said that's how they connected a bit more as well in the conversation, that they connected because they had both lost somebody. So I want to get your thoughts on that. Like, did that give you a bit more depth to both of them? Did that give you a bit more understanding of where each person was coming from? Yes or no? Chelsea said no. Okay.
And I know folks are going to talk about me because they say I'm a little cold-blooded, but y'all know how I feel when people get on this TV crying for no reason. That actually pissed me off. And y'all know I get mad when people be crying for no god dog reason. It just gave unstable. But I thought he was very nice in his response, and he tried to bond with her. I thought he did a good job bonding with her, but the whole time in the scene I was like, "Ho, is you cool? Like, are we?" That's all I could think. But y'all know I can't stand when they get on this TV crying unprovoked.
I can't stand the fact that she shared his personal information. What if he didn't want to share that he lost his dad with the other two at the table? I mean, it's screaming. We talked about this offline, off camera. Seems like Eddie is using the phone numbers. Take note, Wayne. Take note. But again, now she's like, oh, yeah, because you lost your dad. And he's sitting there. And if you look at his expression, it's kind of like, wait, share your information. Don't just put mine out on the table and force me to have to share with everybody else here. So that's the part I did not like. Share your hurt. That's perfectly fine. But you don't need to let my business out on the table. I'm sorry. So maybe I'm a little more harsh. She's crying, whatever. I'm like, Seaway, girl, you know what day it was. You could have told production, I don't wish to film today is going to be real rough, and kept it home. I felt it was a tad performative.
I hear that. Okay. Sure.
Well, I guess we need balance, so I'll just try to, find some balance somewhere. I can't say
it's heavily tipped.
I really try to lead into my empathy more these days. I'm sure you guys can see it, but I just, at least everyone rallied around her. I will say that, she had a moment and everybody rallied around her, because I can also attest, and I'm being serious, to the fact of, this time of year for me is a little difficult because my stepson's birthday, and he passed away last year. So this part of February is February in general is a little tough. I got my anniversary from my divorced wife. I got her birthday. I got my stepson's. Like, a lot going on in February for me. So I can understand that a date can trigger you. So there.
No, I think that's a very important. See, I see both sides. I didn't really think of it from the lady's perspective, right? I only thought of it as, oh, okay, she's just sharing. She's being more vulnerable. But I also, as you're saying it, I didn't realize. I didn't look at it that way. That she is sharing a private information about Eddie that maybe he didn't want to be released at that point. I didn't even think of it that way. I just thought to myself, oh, she's empathizing, but maybe that's a part of the not being very vulnerable sometimes, that you don't realize that there's certain things you don't need to share. And maybe it was an overshare in that moment, that she was kind of trying to connect, and then, she shared that information with the group. Do you know what I'm saying to you? You know what I mean? So I definitely hear what you ladies are saying in that respect. I didn't even see it like that until you said it. And then when you said it, I was like, oh, yes, right. It's private information. Like, what if he wasn't okay with it? It seemed like he's okay, but what if he isn't okay with it? You know what I'm saying to you? Like, you don't know him like that. You know what I'm saying to you? So I definitely hear what you're saying. And on the other side of things, I really appreciate her sharing. I thought it was nice to hear her on a different note. And maybe, again, I just like vulnerability. She looked so much more beautiful, than this whole joking that she always does. That infuriates me, because she jokes at every single thing. You know what I mean? But yes, anyway, go for it.
Well, I will say that I really did appreciate that she tried to be more serious and try to connect on a more serious note. I did want to add that, to be positive, to bring balance. I'm glad that she left the whole, snow is pollution, and tried to connect the best way she knew how. So I do want to give her credit for that. However, for me, because I know African commented that we can all control, when we break down. I know for me personally, that is true. I understand that. But if you are crying on a first date about darn near anything, I honestly don't care. I mean, unless it happened that day, if you were just unprovoked breaking down at a table, I personally am going to deem you unstable, and I'm not going to take the risk on you. Now, there's other people, like maybe Kojo thought it was beautiful and things like that. That's fine. Just personally for me, it's giving unstable or unstable, whatever it is. And it's just a no for me. It's just a no for me. That's all I'm saying, because I'm feeling like now you don't know time, place, manner for me. But if y'all don't mind people breaking down the moment they met you about they dead mama, grandma, sister, cousin, whoever, then that's fine. I'm not that person, because I'm gonna be sitting there awkward like, ho, is you cool? That's all. I'm gonna be sitting there like Camille.
We have watched and listened from the mountains. We have watched with disgust.
That's how I felt when she was saying what she said. I feel like I'm this good. No, but I get what you're saying. I actually do get what you're saying. It's a very tricky thing. So yes, yes, Elson, and then Sean. Yes, it's a tricky thing what you said. Yes, I'm hearing you.
The only grace I can give is maybe it's an extended conversation that we did not hear. But if you just pick that up and start in the middle of drinks and everything, something is happening that we probably cannot help you with, and we're not trained to help you with. And, exit stage left. That's about as much sympathy as I could give.
I mean, feel free to break down, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, if you feel like you need to break down, break down. I'm just saying that I am a representation of many people's opinion, not everyone's opinion, right? And so if you break down and that's how you feel like you need to, that's fine. But just know there's going to be a section of society who's going to think that you need to go see that lady. And that's it. You know what I mean? I think people need to understand that there's multiple truths can be true at the same time. At the same time. Because if I'm going through grief and I'm sitting at a table at Ready to Love and I start breaking down, maybe I couldn't control it. But that also may be that I'm going through a little bit of instability at that time. And maybe I do also need to go see that lady. And maybe I am being unstable at the same time. I mean, a lot of things can be true. And that's all I'm saying, personally.
I hear that. That's fair. Sean, yeah, go for it.
No, I was just adding some levity to it because the people in the comments are saying we're being evil.
That's when in Rome being extra. I wouldn't even pay no money.
So yeah, no, I do think, listen, like I share my own personal experience. I think, hey, grief comes in waves. You can't necessarily control it. Maybe she felt safe in that moment, so she's working on her vulnerability,
Phil said, don't go on a date on someone's death anniversary. I mean, that's also
My
controllable.
gosh, Phil, where is your conditioned empathy?
Phil said,
My
I'm going to see
God.
where it was off-putting and strange. Off-putting and strange. No, I mean, listen. I think I'm seeing both sides here. I'm not saying any side is actually right or wrong per se, right? I'm understanding the context. The conversation was about Wayne's brother mentioning, and I think it was the day her brother passed. It's an anniversary of that day, so she probably was triggered in that moment. But I also understand that her being triggered doesn't mean that you're going to also be, if you were on a date, if someone's having that, you may also feel there may be some instability in that respect. I can understand that as well. Someone may be like, oh, that might not be for me. You know what I'm saying too? And again, depending on how many years it's been or whatever. But it also is the other aspect where some people can be okay with it, like you said. So it's not a case of choosing either or. It's more of a case of understanding there has to be context of the situation. That some people might look at it this way, some people might look at it the other way, right? In that space. So I don't think necessarily it's a right or wrong in this situation. I think it's just a case of finding a balance in that aspect. The group did well. I mean, they Angie especially was like, hey, girl, let it out, go on, feel free now. Do you know what I'm saying to you? And
I love the
how
way she
I am.
covered her. I love the way she covered her. She did she not only like allowed her to express herself, but then also kind of brought life back into the room by toasting to him. And I thought that Angie did a really, really good job of kind of addressing it. I thought she did a good job. So I want to say that.
Like I said, I'm not saying anybody was wrong. I think there's cause to talk about both sides. You know what I mean? Like it may have been a case also that if because I don't like you may be stable, but maybe that day is just a very difficult, heavy day. Then maybe it's not the day you should come and film. Like, you know what I mean? Take yourself out. It's okay. Put yourself first. Put your mental health first. It's a very heavy day for you. Don't worry about filming. You know what I'm saying, Chu? And so it may be one of those things as well for her as well in future. Be like, actually, maybe I shouldn't film, or maybe I don't need to do this thing on this particular day because it is a very heavy day. So for me personally, it wouldn't have mattered. But then again, my job is to deal with people who cry all the time. So it's very different for me than it is for other people. You know what I mean? So I understand what you're saying as well. Yeah, I get it.
And a good point too. The Wayne with the Bayang started the story with his brother being proud, or him being proud of his younger brother that has kids and is married, and that's something that he wants to esteem to. And I think that's what kind of set the training of her to kind of think about her brother and then be reminded that it was also the anniversary of his his birthday.
Love that. Now, obviously, in amongst that, obviously, Eddie wasn't in that conversation, but we said obviously he wasn't necessarily being intentional. He was labeled a playboy or a player by Rocky a little bit later on as well. Do we agree with that sentiment? Do we believe that Eddie is a playboy? I mean, I know he looks like he could be a playboy, but is that what he's given? Is that what he's given so far? Are we saying
get
that
any information as to why she said that?
She didn't really say. I don't know what her thing is. I'm trying to take my notes.
He said he just dating. He said he'd been just dating.
Okay.
And she's like, "Oh, you in these streets? You a city boy?" That was the conversation we saw.
Aisha said Rocky was soft rejecting herself. I don't know. It just kind of gave that he's tall and handsome, and so he's a city boy. I remember when she said that, but I didn't know why she was saying that. So,
who said that to him?
Light skinned lady with the blonde hair, Rocky.
Oh, okay. I think she's Afro-Latina,
More than likely.
Yeah, because her last name is Colon.
Okay.
Just Rocky.
But that's just a side note that I picked up. Nothing, no major point of it.
Any other thoughts on Eddie?
She's a little goofy to me, so I think that was just a goofy comment.
Yeah, I mean, maybe there was more. They cut so much off all the time, so who knows what was said in the conversation. So I'm going to try to leave room for the fact that maybe something was said that made her say that, but from what we were able to see, I didn't understand where that was coming from.
All right.
Or awkward. Okay. I'll take away the goofy and I'll say awkward.
Well, she's been clocking them. We've so far been agreeing with a lot of what Rocky has said. She's been clocking people.
You speaking French again too?
Yes, we. Let's replay what we said these last week. We. Deacon, don't be a separatist. We're together.
I don't know if I agree with anything she said though.
Y'all are tripping.
She seems a little. I don't know. The awkward is the word I'm gonna go with.
She's
Philly. It's Philly.
She's definitely different.
All right, let's move into another couple then. Let's talk about obviously Cisco and Deonna's conversation.
And I'm like, man, together we probably be a power couple out here.
Listen, the second you said fitness, health, my attention was right here.
We twin. Okay, so I want to get your thoughts on obviously Deonna and Cisco's conversation. They were all about, we're on the fitness, that he's an alpha, she's pretty, it seemed like it could be, he's talking about we could be a power couple, you know what I'm saying? So it sounded like this could be a positive connection, I want to get you guys thoughts on Deonna and Cisco and what's your thoughts of power couple?
Beautiful
or no power couple?
Beautiful gowns.
Oh, Jesus. Wait, before you go, let me just do the super chat quickly by Didi. She offered as well 10 memberships to the people in the chat because, like I said, we want everybody to be a part of the family here as well. So thank you very much, Didi. We appreciate you.
Yes, the new king.
You one of the boys now, Didi. Appreciate you. All right, so before you go and see where you said you want to talk about Deonna and Cisco. What going for them? Power couple.
I just said beautiful gowns.
You have to remind me again of what this thing means. I'm laughing and I don't really know what it means.
It's surface level. It's giving surface. And they look great on the outside. Honestly, she made him look small. I was like, didn't he look big last time? And then he was sitting next to her, and he was half of her. I feel like her arms was two of his, and I remember his arms being really big last time. So yeah,
she works out a lot. And
I know, but so does he. Anywho.
Hey, deonna, listen. Not too much on my deonna out here, okay? Not too much.
She about 3 of your arms too. You be working
I don't give a
out.
damn. Let her hold me, baby.
You better get prepared. She gonna lift you.
I don't mind being held, baby. Okay, let me be the little spoon.
She will.
She even told that other man, I hope you have the same energy that you be having when people get rejected and rebuffed very brutally, because she sure did send that other dude.
Get to that.
She was rude. No, she was rude. She was rude. I can't lie to you. We're not going to deny that, but let me hold you still. Let me hold you, okay?
We'll get to that.
I got that conversation.
Don't want you don't fit the height requirement, my brother. Sorry.
Oh, don't worry about it.
And she very rudely said that.
Oh, you better worry about it. Don't worry about me. You better worry about it, because you gonna get.
I ain't gonna worry about it.
The curb quickly.
I ain't gonna worry about it, sweetheart.
Maybe you hit her with your little Bridgerton accent. You hit her with that Bridgerton accent, and maybe she'll be moved.
That's what I'm banking on, bro. I'm hoping the extra height with the accent,
Okay.
Give it a little bit of Queen's English.
Wear some trainers with a little lift to them too.
I ain't gonna do that. I'm just gonna talk like this. Hopefully she's over herself.
King, but she what she say? She's 5'10".
She's tall though. She is.
6 foot, like 6'1", 6'2", and up. That's
yeah.
What she is. That's what she wants.
Yeah, she did say that. So we're saying what? No power couple between these two?
I'm sure that would.
Yeah, I don't see it. I hope she seems to be, in her other interactions, she seems to be somebody that, gets to the meat of the matter with the guys. So I don't know why she's going for all this fluff that Francisco was talking about. I'm not sure, maybe because they both work out. She likes the fact that he's in shape, and that, is attracted to her. Maybe he's the right height also. So, but I really hope that she gets to the bottom of it, because he hasn't really said a whole lot. He's like, you a firefighter? We gonna be a power couple. I like that. All right. Like, bro, like, what are we talking about? Like, what are we doing? Like, what are your interests? What do you want to do? Like, what do you see in your future? Are you looking for marriage? Do you want kids? Like, where do you see your life in the next few years? Like, I wanted to hear more of that. Obviously the things we have in common are great, but let's make some interest. And he just seems goofy to me.
Maybe a powerlifting couple. Okay, that's about as much, but that means we're just, I'm see you at the gym. Maybe I say hello, but I think she's being polite enough because she may need his boot or whatever. He does seem like he'll understand the gym part of things, but I think she saw a little interest. She looked at him, and then he opened his mouth, and she's like, okay. But Kojo, you talk about respecting boundaries. A lady has said what she liked, and if you do not fit within the category and the boundaries in which she has set, don't try and force it. Don't try and force it. But I guess try. Better to try and fail than to fail to try, I guess.
Exactly. Listen, once I put this English accent on her, she don't know what's going to happen to her. She's going to end up in GBR. I'm telling you this now. Great Britain. Any other thoughts on that conversation yesterday?
I mean, I'm just going to assume that she's quite superficial, because if she's going for, what's his name? Sebastian? Is that his name? Am I making that up?
Who is Sebastian?
Wait. Whoa.
Francisco?
Why did I get
going?
Sebastian?
Sebastian. Oh, Seaway.
That's like somebody from Switzerland.
He looks like a Sebastian.
He don't look like no Sebastian at all. At all.
Look, I'm doing good even remembering this show. Okay, so my bad.
You just watched it 20 minutes ago.
And it'd be that quick, it'd be out of my brain. And that's why I have beef with the men's panel, because I need to go live on that day, or I'm gonna forget. Okay.
Here today on this day.
Okay. What was your point before you derail yourself?
What was my point? Look, already. No, Francisco. To me, being attracted to Francisco, he just gives very empty. He gives beautiful gowns. He has for the last 2 days. And so if that's what she's into, that just kind of shows where her interests are. That's all I can really say. because Mr. Francisco Sebastian, maybe I'm gonna get it, that's his whole name, ain't giving us too much but muscles and working out. When that man said, what is your hobby? He said, my only hobby is working out. What do you like to do? All I like to do is work out. I already knew that, because there's no way you have a body like his at his age if that's not all you do. He stays in the gym. That's literally all he does. And if that's cool with her, because that's all she do, that's a very empty lifestyle. But, you know, to each his own. To each his own.
And again, I'm not gym shaming anybody, you know, so I'm not saying there's anything wrong with people that go to the gym often. That's great, you know, that keeps you healthy. But I think, like, if we're on Ready to Love, you know, I need to hear a little bit more. And we're three episodes in, and I haven't heard anything from him yet. So I want to hear his depth. And the last conversation we had from him was very vapid. You know, I forget what woman he was sitting with, but it was like really, really vapid. He was there with his shirt off. He just, I don't know. He seems like an attention-seeking guy that just runs to the gym all the time. And sorry.
He was with Tay and COLEY. I mean, at least Deonna didn't even get the show, okay? The other ladies got the show. I guess he kept his shirt on because we're indoors this time. So maybe somebody told him something about keep your shirt on.
I definitely hear that. So, you know, hey, listen, I have nothing wrong with the gym. And if that's what your life is and your gym work, hey, there's not enough hours in a day anyway. All right. So you enjoy your gym, you enjoy your work. I ain't going to be mad at it. You know what I'm saying? I'll see you in the gym, Deonna. Okay. But obviously she had a conversation later on with Cam. And the conversation obviously got a little bit tasty. I want to get your thoughts on this conversation here.
Reese, downtown.
Oh, that's mine. Okay.
Yeah. I was surprised to see another firefighter here. I thought I was going to be obviously the only one. So hopefully that gave me some cool points, because Deonna's a
Now, I don't know if y'all catch this. Maybe I need to watch it again one more time. There's a part where she actually says that she trains people in the academy. And she said it 2 or 3 times. And I said, you're belittling this man. And I don't like it. I'm not going to lie to you. I called it straight away. I said, sis, it sounds like you're belittling the man by saying about you work. It was the way she said it about the academy. It wasn't like she was just saying academy. If it was, it would have been like, oh, no, I've really trained people in the academy. I'm really proud of it. I love working with those people. But it's the way she kind of said, like, you about to be there. Like, I don't know you. I don't need to know you. You know what I'm saying? Or, you know, it felt a little bit belittling. Just, I get you don't like him. But there's a way to do it that's in a way that doesn't come off as passive aggressive. Someone said emasculating. It just felt like, yeah, I can't lie to you. Listen, she's still a baddie to me, but I don't do rudeness. So you know how I feel. But what's your thoughts on this aspect? You know, is it her being in her masculine energy? Is it her just, you know, be emasculating? Like, how did you see the situation between herself and Cam in that conversation there?
She sunned him. She basically says, you know, little youngster, this ain't for me. When she heard he was a firefighter, it was automatically for her, just he was off of her list, because she said she don't date firefighters, even when she first, came on board. Then she's like, what battalion? What ladder? She was trying to get, he's telling the ladies he's been there for 5 years, and she's saying, oh, you just got out the academy. Oh, okay. So she really did use that as a, measuring stick for him. And it's like, you send him, he's like, I'm not a regular firefighter. I now train y'all. And you just got out from my training, so you still wet behind the ears. It's kind of like a fly shoe, but it was harsh. It was a harsh shutdown. Don't come around here. I don't even want to be in your presence. It was nice meeting you. Go away. Now, what I will say nice is that, the Philly gentleman and Cam now are giving us nice, shirts. The men are coming out with some nice shirts and fashions in Philly. So Cam's shirt in this instance, it made his, dark chocolate skin just, seem enriched. So I will give Cam that. He stepped up. He was properly attired and looked really, really, really good. But she sunned him. she sunned him real hard. It's like, go away, go sit over there, don't come back here.
To me, I think I've learned everything that I need to know about Deonna in that one interaction. To me, how you treat people, and we've talked about this with Michelle and a whole bunch of other people, how you treat people that you are unattracted to or don't want to date or don't like or you think is less than says more about you than it does about them. There is nothing wrong with you not wanting to date anybody at your job, especially as a woman in these type of professions. You definitely should have a hard boundary, which I'm pretty sure if she would have just said, hey, you know, because of our work, I have a hard boundary. I don't date folks in my job. I hope you understand. He would be like, no, I totally get it. And it would have been that. But instead, you sunned him, you belittled him, you let him know that he was a little guy, that you trained folks like him. And then when that wasn't bad enough, then you called him short and was like, looked disgusted with him. I just don't even know what he did to deserve that type of energy. To me, it was very ugly and very ugly. I mean, that's really, and even he said it. He was like, you can say you don't, you know, you can not be interested, but you didn't have to do all of that. That was very masculine. You know, it was just very I got the ick from it, to be honest, because I don't like, you know, when I see people being mean to people like that. It triggers like something in me that wants to defend someone who I feel like is being like, I don't know, talked down to. I was very upset by it, to be honest. I didn't like to see it.
The only alternative that I can say for maybe why she did it is if they've had other interactions and she's now having to really lay the stake in, you know? That's the only other reason I could give why she was very, very firm with him. Like, hey, I'm treating you like a work colleague. Like, this is how she was like at a work meeting, you know, making it very clear and drawing a very fine line so he can get the hint. Because I think El Cid might have said this, is like sometimes, you know, you say one thing, you know, and as men, we think it's not, you know, it's just, okay, we're going to get a chance. Like, we still might be able to, you know, have an option. And she wanted to let him know, hey, listen, that's it. That's the only thing I could think about, that she was so firm. But she did treat him like a colleague. She definitely treated him like a coworker, one of the people that are, you know, either she's training or that she's under. She smiled. On the plus side, we saw her beautiful smile the whole time. But yeah, it wasn't nice. She didn't, you know, she didn't handle him nicely at all. And he did take it well. You know, he didn't bark back. He didn't try to, you know, get one up on her or say anything like that. So
I think because he's in that type of environment, and the closest thing I can actually point to is me being used to be a state's attorney. I kind of understand it to a degree, but it's not the same. When you're in that type of, you know, environment, I think when people pull rank, you're used to it. And so I think he did, even though he may not have liked it, he was able to kind of deal with that. I think what really got him is like, you pulled rank and then you insulted me and talked about my height. I think that's when he was like, all right, I dealt with you pulling rank so we can keep a boundary up. You know, you're not interested, but now you're going to call me short pretty much. It's like, girl, you didn't have to do all that. You didn't have to do all of that. So we'll see. And then her next interest is Mr. Francisco Sebastian. Okay. Best of luck.
And Eddie from the first episode, she liked her interaction with Eddie.
Another tall person. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. So clearly there's something, you know, I was saying about this, that, listen, there's nothing wrong with having your type and having tall men. I don't think that's a problem. Personally, I'm never going to feel no way about it. You know what I'm saying to you, whether you meet the high restrictions or not. You know, so there is something for her, which obviously incorporates height. She likes something about the height. Maybe it makes her feel more, like I said, because, you know, see what you were saying about how she may be a little bit bigger than most of the guys in terms of not just like in terms of weight, but in terms of her size. So maybe she also feels that consciousness, you know, so maybe that's the reason why she needs someone a bit more taller to make her feel a bit more smaller. You know what I'm saying? It could be that case too, you know? You know, I won't take that away from her. But does that mean that she should be rude to Cam? No. There's no excuse for that. You know what I'm saying to you? Like, I wouldn't want any man being rude to her, and I wouldn't want any woman being rude to a man. Do you know what I'm saying to you? I think, it was a little bit distasteful, and the part which was really distasteful is when she actually measured the height. When she put her hand in the air to measure the height, that's the part I was like, whoa. I was like, sis, please don't do that. That's the height of disrespect. You already know you don't need to measure him in terms of his height because you can already see his height. You know what I'm saying to you? So it's just something that she needs to again. Maybe I can ask, what would be our advice for Deonna going forward? Because let's say she gets eliminated next week. What would be our advice for her? Because we've seen what we've seen on this episode. What would be your advice to Deonna going forward?
Treat people how you want to be treated. If you wouldn't want nobody to call you an Amazon, call you larger than charge, call you tall, none of that. Don't call no man a little body, a little shorty. You don't want that. Just treat people how you want to be treated. I don't know why women think it's okay to be mean, but then we don't want it back. I don't know why y'all looking crazy. I'm just saying. Just
you called that woman an Amazon, and no one called her that. I mean, no one did. You did.
I'm saying that would be the equivalent, though, right? She's saying she's tall, okay, right? So if he would say, "Hey, you're an Amazon, you're this and that," to try to make up for the fact that he's a short king, you get what I'm saying? That wouldn't be nice. The same way you don't want to call somebody a short king, even though the short king is what we say to try to make it nice, right? But it's still not. You're still like trying to put some flowers on, whatever. I'm just saying, just treat people how you want to be treated. I think women, and I'm always pro girl, I'm a girl's girl. I think we think we can get away with being very mean to men, talking about their hairline, talking about the fact that they balding, talking about the fact that they short, talking about all these things. But as soon as somebody talk about our bodies, our backs, our wigs, our this and that, we want to cry. And it's like, no, we're gonna have to be fair. That's all I'm saying.
What I would
remind you, wait, timestamp that, Coach Chris. We're gonna remind her because she gonna slaughter us, guys.
I just want to say that's the first time I've heard Seaway say that. You must be on a new turn, and I love it. Where Jesus got hold of you, grappled you, and turned your life around. I want to praise him. I'm going to pray harder tonight, definitely. I appreciate you, Seaway.
I ain't turned. This is just a moment in time. So
that's what
I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna take it because there's gonna be another moment. The Holy Spirit gonna arrest you like he did Paul. Yes, sure. Sorry, is it El Cid? Sorry, El Cid will say go for El Cid.
To give Deonna some advice, she said when we first met her that she wants to rest, to be in her feminine energy. She wants to show a softer side. She could use these interactions as practice, okay? You can practice letting him down gently. It takes a lot. The guys always tell us it takes a lot, to step forward, to, try and, see if there's interest there. And yes, he knows, and he still stepped to her, and he knew he was shorter than her, and it was fine. Just, gently, turn him down. As Seaway said, you could say, hey, my boundaries, I do not date firefighters. I do not date within, my profession. And that would be a gentle, downplay and say, go on along. But this was real harsh. This was real, slam the door, don't come back around here no more. And, all I gotta say is for the ladies we have seen crashing out on this season, it was still gentle compared to the other Philadelphia ladies. So she could use each interaction to, use this as practice for her softer side.
Go for it, Sean.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think, just be softer and gentler, less direct. I think she didn't even need to talk about his height at all. If once you uncover that you are colleagues, I think let it stop at colleagues. You don't have to compound it. You don't have to remind me that I'm shorter than you, and you don't even date guys shorter than you. Just say, hey, listen, you seem like a nice guy. You're pretty cool. Unfortunately, I don't date my colleagues, so but we can be friends, and I'm sure we have lots in common. But I don't, I just don't date colleagues. I think it gets too complicated. That's it.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Shout out to Deanne as well for the super chat as well. Thank you very much, Deanne. Much appreciated, much loved, and thank you for sending that in as well. Okay, well, let's shift it again. Let me just get into my clip again and onto our next person we want to talk about. We want to talk about NAEEM's conversation with Tay. They had an interesting interaction. I'm going to end up talking about NAEEM and Tay as well and see what their journey was like.
In a pear tree.
Okay, well, it was nice talking to y'all. No, like first?
Yeah, I got 5 kids.
I thought he was playing at first. And I'm like...
Well, obviously, NAEEM and Tay obviously had a conversation. He let her know that he had 5 kids, 3 baby mothers, and a partridge in a pear tree. But I want to get your perspective, obviously, on Tay and NAEEM, their conversation, and then we'll obviously dissect, Tay a little bit more further along the line as well. So what was your thoughts on Tay and NAEEM's conversation? And you can diverge into either Tay or NAEEM and break them down however you feel best. What was your thoughts? Yeah, sure.
I really want for Tay to listen to her first instinct. I forgot who it was in like the first or 2 episodes or so. I think, was it when she was talking to Francisco or one of the other guys? They said something and she kind of almost breezed past it, and then here again, she was, encountered NAEEM. And she heard that, and then she was like, oh, but he's a good looking guy, and let me sit and look. No, baby girl. You need to pack it up, Buttercup, and keep trucking. That is no place you want to stop and find out and see. You on FAFO messing around with NAEEM. So please. And then when she asked him, she asked a couple of good questions. That part, I think she did well. When she said, when she found out he had 3 different children's mothers, and then she asked, had he married any of them? And then when he gave that wild answer, like, oh, I can get married tomorrow. We could fall in love and get married tomorrow. Okay, so if you're that sporadic, it hasn't happened before. You haven't been married before, so now you just talking. You just bumping your gums now. So I really hope that if anything, maybe she's being strategic. But I've seen her do a lot of skinning and grinning around a lot of the other guys. So I happen to think that's partially her personality. I think I need her to just have a little more firmer boundaries and see a red flag coming and pivot quickly. Don't get sucked in. Don't find his story. Don't want to understand. Don't want to see how you might have a different outcome. You're not. You're going to be in a spin cycle going nowhere. So yeah, 3, I just think, I'm sorry. Everybody deserves a chance at love, but the risks are high. And I think we have to make, especially when we're meeting new people, you have to make calculated, analytical decisions. And if somebody has that much going on, and then when you ask them questions, there's like no even like, hey, I realized that I probably was a little too fill in the blanks, but he's going to run around and say, I might get married tomorrow. I'm impulsive that way. Yeah, he just going to play with you. He's going to play with you, and you're going to be in a spin cycle. So I just hope she doesn't get caught up.
Well, by her first response, I think that was the best response, and I'm pretty sure that she's not going to take him seriously going forward. She seems like a very polite, just well-mannered, kind person. And I'm pretty sure she just didn't want to get up and be like, oh, and I'm out, because that just doesn't seem to be her disposition. I'm just going to hope that she has all the information that she needs from him and continues to keep it moving, because he hasn't even done any self-reflection as to why he hasn't married any of his children's mothers and why he's created 3 broken homes. I mean, to me, the only way you can redeem that is that you really have done some deep exploration as to how you got to that place. And the havoc that you've caused, you know, behind you and in the future, and how you want to change things going forward. I've been waiting to hear that, and I've heard nothing but jokes, kikis, an unserious conversation about his 5 children and 3 mothers of his children. So I'm not going to judge too much on a real short convo. I just hope that she keeps it moving and he is the next man to go, because honestly, his situation doesn't change the longer he's on the show. Did he look better today? Someone said he looked better. He did. His ponytail was slicked back. He's a decent looking man. That's probably why he has 5 kids, 3 baby mamas, but he's nothing but trouble. So
in that whole frame, Rose was there too, and when she rolled up, Rose seemed like she's like, you could have him. You could have this conversation with him, because she was looking for an escape route. I'm sorry. That's how it looked. Yes, she should trust her instinct. She has been hearing things, because remember, she also was talking to Francisco in that second mixer. And when he said he had infidelity, the alarm bells went off. And then here in this episode, when she talked to Cam, and her alarm bells went off when he talked about the roles in a household and how he would like them. So she's picking up on stuff. We will have to wait and see if she's going to act on it. But I think it was a matter of, hey, I think she's being strategic. I got to talk to this man. I got to be nice and friendly, keep this boat, stay on here. And then I will just, as Seaway said, not take him seriously.
Go for it, Sean. If you want to say it, go for it.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's better paired with women that have 1 or 2 kids at least, and maybe don't want to have any more children. I think he shouldn't be trying to stress anybody out that doesn't have any children with his 5 kid situation. I think that's unfair. I think that is, I just being honest, I think it's really unfair for him to even attempt to date a woman that has no kids, unless she's like, I don't want kids, right? If she says, I don't want kids and I don't mind being, like your kids would be a blessing, because at least it gives me a semi experience of being a parent, then I think that works. But no kids and wants to have kids, why would he even take her down that road to nowhere? I think that's irresponsible of him. And I think we've said this a million times with Tay, but I swear she looks like she could be Aries' younger sister. Every time I see her on the screen, she just reminds me of Aries. That's just my little side note.
No, that's all right. I appreciate it. All right, let's have a little conversation. You had a conversation with Khalil.
If she gets to know me a little bit well and I spend a little bit more FaceTime with her, that, I could potentially be a stronger connection with her.
How you been feeling since the 2 mixers? Like, that's over with.
Okay, so with Tay and Khalil, obviously she let us know that for her, she said that about communication. She said she has to take a bit of time out sometimes if things get a bit heated, because she don't want to say anything that might hurt the other person. So she just careful of not trying to say anything in that space, because she might say something that may hurt someone's feelings. I took that as code word for she might have a sharp tongue. But I want to get your thoughts on Tay and other aspects aside obviously being with we spoke about NAEEM. How are we seeing Tay in this particular episode so far? Because all the boys seem to like her. She had a conversation with Khalil. She had a conversation with Cisco a little bit as well, because I know he came back round. Like, how are we seeing Tay on this episode? Why is she so popular on episode 3 so far? Why is Tay so popular? She needs to be popular on both sides of the group now. So what's making Tay so popular from your perspective? Let me know what your thoughts are.
Tay knows how to talk to people. Tay knows she knows how to talk to people. She's friendly. And I think she knows how to communicate with men. You know how like there's some women that just don't communicate well with men. She knows how to communicate with men. She knows what to say. She knows how not to come off very off-putting and abrasive. And on top of the fact that she's a pretty girl, she's sweet. I think the combination of the two makes her very easy to talk to and get along with. Versus like some of the other women, they may have other things going for them, but they don't, they may not be warm, they may not be welcoming, or they may be a little bit more aggressive, trying to get you to call them. Tay is just kind of just her, and the one that I said I didn't like her dress because her boobs was out. What's her name? The one that had the skating date, I think she was on the
KIARA.
Yes, those two know how to communicate. They communicate well, and they're very warm energy, and I think the men are drawn to that. That's what I think.
Sid, what's your thoughts? Why is Tay seemingly winning over all the men, and they just seeming to need to fall over Tay? What's going on?
Tay is communicating with them in a manner to gain information. She's sharing of herself. She's showing she has substance. She is, just open to conversation. And she's showing she's listening to them. In this, I wasn't paying too much attention to Tay because, Khalil is a very fine looking man. So this interaction with Tay, she wasn't communicating with me. I was paying attention to him. Sorry.
Totally understand. Sean, what's your thoughts? Why is Tay so popular? Why do you think that the man them really are feeling Tay?
I think the ladies captured it. Just her smile, her energy. I think she's funny. Like she has like a good balance of being like funny, and engaging. And she's a little flirty too. So it's like when you can mix all those things and you're pretty, you're gonna get the guys. That's it. You're gonna get us because it's like, oh wow, she's got a little bit. You're a little intrigued because she has a nice balance of all those things.
Yeah, definitely understand that. She's very, very pretty. I think also very light, refreshing. And I think she just seems to generally be intrigued by people, and that is a beautiful trait to have when, especially if that's a super weapon. If you're a beautiful person and you have the ability to actually be genuinely interested in people, like you see that you're intrigued by them, you want to know a bit more about them, people are always going to fall over you. Obviously, not every woman can do that because, of course, when you've been through things, sometimes you just don't want to have to do that. But I get it. But Tay seems to have the breath of fresh air. She comes in the room, it just seems to be lighter. She makes, even if you weren't having a chance, like you're okay with it. And I think that is a superpower in itself. It is a rare superpower that's not many women have, but there are a few that have it where it's like, even if I know you're not interested in me, for the 5 minutes you're talking to me, I feel like you're at least engaged, you're talking, you're giving me some energy. I may not get a number, I may not even talk to you again, but I feel like I've been seen in those few moments. And that's a very rare skill to have, man or woman, I think, to have that skill on a general basis. Elsa said it's not rare.
So wait a minute. So why hasn't that skill landed her in a committed relationship?
Because she got other issues. You see, some people are good at marketing. They're not good at sales. You have to understand that.
There you go.
You understand?
She's good.
Yeah.
She's good at the marketing. But then when you buy, you may have buyer's remorse.
And she's good at sales too. It's retention. Don't forget retention.
Ooh, okay.
That's the other part. You got to be able to retain the product. That's when the issues, when you see how the product might be defective or it doesn't work the way you thought it did, or it looked real good on the shelf, but then 3 weeks in, it kind of don't work the same way. And you're like, ooh, I don't like this so much. I'm going to return it.
No, can you expand on that, Sean? And the reason I'm saying that is because I feel like, obviously, every season we talk about Ready to Love, we always talk about everybody's faults. But I want to look at the areas that we can also help them, because like you just said there, I think it's a perfect example between you and Elsid and C-Way. What you just explained is a beautiful thing. She is beautiful. She's light. She's fluffy. She is entertaining. She is someone I would love to be around. Always smiling, and just seemingly the sun is beaming on her. But for some reason, she's single and she's in this space. What is the issue? And you mentioned retention. Please explain that a bit more in terms of business and dating terms, and how you are kind of shaping that to make it understandable for everyone else.
Well, and Elsa brought up a good point. I need to be careful because we don't want to, we don't want to objectify women or make them like, in my, efforts of not being, misogynistic, But I think in a relationship there is that, the part that makes you want to stay with the person. And sometimes if people are unhealed, then or they have whatever they have going on, that does not allow the relationship to sustain itself. So people might, there's a lot of women that you'll see, they like, I can get a YN any day. And it's very true, women can get men, but can they get men to commit? Can they get men to commit long term? Can they get the right man to commit long term? And when they are with that right man, is that right man wanting to stay with them? And just specifically in that thing, a lot of times we have our unhealed issues, maybe how we handle conflict. Sometimes people like her, they're very fun and bubbly and light, and they put it's not necessarily a fakeness because it is a part of them, but once they let that part down, because it takes a lot of work to be like that all the time, then you see the real person, and sometimes that real person is not going to be smiling at you, and sometimes as men is like, oh, you just cussed me out. Ooh, you cussed me out 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 times. I didn't think that. Like, you just seem so light and bubbly. Why are you, or if it's not the curse out, why are you so harsh? Or, like, why you kind of cut me off when I talk? Like, it could be that. So whatever it is, that might be the thing that's harming her from staying in relationships long term.
And going along with what Sean just said, yes, it may be harsh, but yes, it could also mean, as the chat is reminding us, she was focused on her education. It could be, just like Wayne said, it take 5, 7, 8 days. It could be the focus on the education is causing neglect, in the relationship. It could be a lack of balance of different things in her life. But she did admit, hey, she, can get loose with it. But I keep telling y'all, this is Philly. We have seen the ladies of Philly. I think Tay is keeping, her Philly energy under wraps, just like COLEY did. And we did not expect COLEY to be snapping on Tommy at the mixer. Okay? So I think we need to realize that, yeah, we may have a little snapback. We may have to say something a little bit, off to the side. And that makes it no longer, very welcoming. We need to see everybody in their different stages, their different emotions. And she is wonderful. She is absolutely gorgeous. She is very open to the process. And that is very, very good for this and this speed dating exercise. I think she's doing really well and will continue to do well. It's when it comes time to get serious. And I don't think Ready to Love is leading to marriage. It's just leading to exclusive dating. I think when you get serious, when she marks her territory for some person and commits, how is that going to play out in the ladies' lounge? How is that going to play out with the other men? So, I think it's just a matter of balance, but she is totally, totally, putting her best foot forward in these mixers. And then I guess she'll weed through the rest of the people.
Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate it. All right, let's go. Oh, Siwa, I don't know if you want to answer the question. Sorry, my bad. What she could do better. Not to do better. Why she may be single, in terms of the fact that she's such a lovely, bubbly person. Everyone seems to, enjoy her company, especially her presence. Why she may be single. Because that's what Sean and Elsie were kind of breaking down.
Yeah, I'm gonna echo what Sean said, and I only part of what Elsie said. I think I was scooting over to y'all, so I missed a little bit of it. But yeah,
no problems.
What was said seems to be accurate. I don't know if anyone talked about just. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that. I think we have to see more though, because there's definitely something. There's definitely something to it, for sure. So we'll see. But yeah, that's all.
Oh, and I don't know if we covered it too, but I see it in the chat as I've been like scanning. They mentioned that she's a workaholic, and I think
That's what I
that
mentioned, Sean.
you did too. I missed that part. I think that, you know, that's a big deal, you know? So a lot of times women will, you know, over focus on their career and then now they're like, okay, now I'm done. And then sometimes it still creeps in there because they're, you know, so career focused. Some men may not feel like there's room for them. So
Yeah, you have to have strong boundaries, and so far, it seems that her boundaries are very wishy-washy. I mean, I don't want to say that definitively because I'm not sure, but she may suffer from not having very strong boundaries, and you need those when you're interacting with folks. And so I wonder about that.
All right, cool. Let's talk about obviously Cam, because obviously Cam, we spoke a little bit about Cam because obviously got told he was short. But let's obviously have a conversation about Cam because he had a conversation with Shanice, and let's talk a little bit about his presence because he was in the bottom two.
Down for whatever.
What was your name?
Hold on, skip ahead. Sorry.
How did you get into being like a firefighter? Like, why is that so important to you?
It's just like my value system, like as a human.
All right, so obviously Cam, you know, it was in the bottom two. It was between him and Wayne. And the ladies were about to send him home, but they sent Wayne instead. Their thought process was that Cam wasn't being deep. He wasn't showing any kind of depth. You know, he was as short. Stop. Anyway, so I want to get you guys' thoughts on Cam and what you thought about him as well, you know. Because the ladies will say he has got as much depth as Cam Newton. No, joking. But anyway, what's your thoughts? What's your thoughts on Cam? How did you see it? Because he was actually, the ladies did say they felt like he was missing something. He wasn't giving depth in that answers. It was giving kiddie pool waters. So I want to understand where you guys are coming from. What's your thoughts? See where you got your mic open. Go for it.
Yeah, I definitely think there's more there with him. I don't think we're at the end of what he has to offer. I just feel like this environment, the cameras, the meet and greets may not be where he shines, but the way he took that feedback about him needing to give more, I think says a lot about what he can do. I also think that Cam is particularly interested in maybe a few people and not others. So I think he needs to use his social battery to connect with those people and maybe pull back on everyone else, because I kind of, even though I'm an extrovert introvert, I think that's what it is. So everyone thinks I'm an extrovert, but when I get into social settings, I get very, very exhausted and sometimes very guarded because I am just literally tired. And he just seems like he was, I don't know, a little just literally exhausted by the process, and he just was trying to give enough, but it was coming off that he wasn't, you know, trying to connect. But I definitely love the way he took feedback, and hopefully he spends his like social battery on the people that he's interested in. And I think he could do that. So that's what I would say.
I was fearful that Shanice was going to make this another interview, but at least she wasn't talking about herself. She was kind of drawing him out. He did share in the second mixer a lot with Rose, but he did keep to his best when she asked about his family and his connection with them. But he is opening up just a little. I'm kind of wondering in the back of my head, was this before or after the conversation with Deonna? Because it seems like this would have been before. He's a little more open. I'd like to see how he, you know, connected with other people after that kind of, you know, switcheroo. But yeah, he did open up quite a bit. He, again, I want to see more with Shanice. I wanted to see more of that conversation because I think he got through to her just a little bit, but I feel there was more to the conversation that we didn't get to see. But glad to see that he did turn around and, you know, shared more.
And just like Seaway said, I too consider myself to be an ambivert. And when I tell you my social battery runs low, you know, like I can have you a good time and I could be out all night, but trust you ain't gonna see me for a little while. Because that social battery is
Wait, is that the name? Is that the name? That's what we are? There's a name for that?
yes, ambivert.
Oh wow, okay.
So yep, I too am the same way. Like I can chat it up, you know, with the best of them, but after that, I'm gonna need you to leave me alone for a little bit. You know, we could talk on the phone, but don't ask me to come nowhere. And boy, oh boy, trying to get me out my house when I really don't want to go. Good luck and God bless to you. Because if I don't want to go, I'm not going. I'm gonna tell you I'm not going though, you know, for sure. But to Cam, he said a couple of things to me, and I'm surprised the ladies didn't clock it, that were a little bit of red flags, you know.
Just a little.
Remind us.
You know me and my patriarchy. He was having that conversation, and he was talking about he needs his woman to fall in line. I was like, ooh, bro.
I thought we were getting there later. I thought we were getting to.
I did hear that. I did hear that. What else did he say, Sean? Break it down.
And then he's not really. When somebody, I forget who it was, asked him about marriage. He must have flim-flammed that conversation and was like, listen, I could be, I don't have to be, I don't really need marriage, it don't really matter to me. Yeah, it wasn't sounding a lot like ready to love. It was sounding like I'm ready to just lie down with whomever and whenever. Yeah, so I don't think he's.
I caught the latter, Sean. I caught the latter.
Yeah. Yeah, he didn't come off really serious to me. Like I don't think he's very serious, and I think that might be one of the reasons too. Not that it was right for her to talk to him that way. I'm not trying to defend it, but I think also Deanna may have clocked a little bit of that too, and she was like, "I might fall in line, but for the right one. But you telling me to fall in line is one thing, and me choosing to fall in line is another." So.
Yes, he did also mention about struggling in a long-term relationship. So I'll play a little bit of clips so you can listen.
I mean, probably.
Let's go back a little bit.
Long relationship has been like 2 years. I've never been in like a long-term relationship.
I mean, 2 years is quite a long time. I mean, he kind of downplayed himself a little bit there. But he said obviously he hasn't done a long-term relationship. And actually that's when he made a comment about falling in line as well. So, yeah, it did sound like he wasn't necessarily ready for all that commitment. He may be just afraid of commitment rather than not ready for it. He might be afraid of actually committing. Maybe he's felt like he's not been able to take that leap and that step. So that may be something he needs to work on personally. Any other thoughts on Cam and some of his antics and comments that he may have made? Because he wasn't a bottom two.
I mean that also could be that he just hasn't found a person that he feels like he doesn't have to change so much for, and that ends up, kind of crashing and burning after 2 years. But I was kind of concerned about his wishy-washy marriage response. If I'm not wrong, but I do think that there is some issues with his family that he didn't want to go into. Now, I respect that because I don't believe that you should be bearing it all to strangers on day 2. So, but I do think if he does get serious with somebody, they do need to push him on that. Because there's a few things going on with him. There's a few things.
Right, is that he was wishy-washy with the religion part with Rose, his connection with his family. I know he's, of course, Sean, as you said, you don't have to share everything, but I don't hear anything like a firm commitment from him other than being a firefighter. So it's too much of a rocky foundation, and then you want someone to fall in line or submit. It's kind of like it ain't gonna happen with the way you're presenting yourself.
I forgot he's the one who gave that religion. Oh no. Well,
don't count him out just yet.
Don't count me out.
How
Any other
about
thoughts, Sean?
submit to confusion?
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like I think in like 2025 where we are, I just want us men to better articulate what we're looking for in relationships and not gravitate to these buzzwords because they're catch-alls. And I want to give us the benefit of the doubt that they don't kind of mean how they sound, because fall in line sounds really like dot dot dot, like I think we want, a woman that is cooperative, a woman that, a traditional, wants traditional roles, right? Because that's going to easily, you know, get to where you want to get without telling a woman you want to beat her over the head and have her home barefoot and pregnant. You know what I mean? Like that Neanderthal and that language. I just want us men to elevate our language, use our words a little bit better to articulate what we're looking for in a relationship. We just got to evolve a little bit. I'm sure, and he looks like he has the capacity. He seems like he's intelligent. Just use better words. Don't listen to the Bros podcast. That's giving you insight. Because sometimes it's just it doesn't accurately depict what you want to say. Unless that's really what you want. If you really want somebody to fall in line and that's what you mean, then go out there and say it. And maybe there's a woman that is going to be willing to sign up for that,
You know what he's giving me? He's giving me that he is a very handsome man. Women come around him, flock around him, and he ain't got to do too much. So now finally we're in a setting where he has to put forth some effort. And he's like, a newborn doe trying to get his legs and really start walking. That's what it's giving me.
I definitely understand that because obviously he's a firefighter. It may be that he's a good-looking dude. He's dark skin, chocolate, bald head, looking like a Morris chestnut in the firehouse, and so maybe he doesn't have to struggle as much. You know what I'm saying? Two women just flock to him, and therefore, it's easier to be able to, slay some dragons, as they would say. But maybe he's finding it a bit more difficult in this environment in terms of actually being more in depth, having to actually have more conversations. It's less about you being flirtatious, less about you being able to, pick up choosing signals and stuff like that, right? But more of a case of like actually trying to develop connections and bridges. And that's something clearly it sounds like he actually also struggles with as well. So it may be an area where he can actually begin to have some growth in. He may need to sit down a little bit and just see how this process is going to change him as well. So somebody said I went too far with the Morris chestnut. You lot are killing me.
Way too bad.
I mean, he does look like a little bit of a Morris chestnut. No, he doesn't look like Morris chestnut.
Are you sick?
He looks like that type.
When in Rome is insane.
Morris walnut.
No, I wasn't looking at that. I was looking at.
She said he's going to put you for the mattress.
She is just out of control.
Put you in the mattress that has me screaming.
She's been on level 10, but I'm going to give her a shout out for speaking in not all caps. So I want to
stop that. Don't bring that back up.
Oh, she's gonna go all caps for sure. Her caps lock. She got a new keyboard. That's what happened. She said, I'm gonna pop up and show out for you. My caps lock is stuck.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Morris pecan. I am screaming. That's your fault.
Morris pecan, Morris walnut. Listen, whatever it is, he's in the family of the Morrises. Okay. He's in the family of the Morrises. So, okay, let's shift it then. Obviously, NAEEM had a conversation with True, and he said obviously that he didn't get the phone number, but she also said she felt like he didn't phone her. So another not phone you situation. I want to get you guys' perspective on that as well.
But after a while, it's like it should go back in the blue, and it never did. So that kind of raised like an eyebrow. Yo, dude, I got the Google Doc number. I was like, yo, I saw you.
Now, first and foremost, you know what? He done solved one of the mysteries that I didn't understand. Because sometimes you do be hitting up, when you're in Egypt, you be doing a lot of madness. I didn't realize this. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you be getting a green, you're like, wait, you are on iPhone, but now I get it. I understand it. He done broke the code. What's your guys' thoughts on NAEEM and True?
Go ahead, Kojo.
No, what are you going to say?
I'm sorry, I couldn't wait. Justice, I'm gonna have to say I'm siding with Mr. Hotep, Mr. Father of Five. Don't give me no Google number. If you give me a Google number and that is turned up green, and I see you with an iPhone, first of all, I get pissed off texting these green bubbles anyway, but that's just neither here nor there. Yes, El Cid, it pisses me off. Some of the best people in my life have these green bubbles, and it upsets me to my core. That aside, if I see an iPhone and you done gave me a Google Voice number, I'm not texting you.
Truth said he has multiple phones. She said she has a business phone, so maybe she gave him the business number because right now they're business associates. They haven't migrated to personal. I don't see what the big deal is. He's a stranger. Like, you're literally a stranger. I don't know you. You might be a creep. And I might want to be able to get rid of this number if I might not want you to have my permanent number. I don't see what the big deal is. He's not
your IG. Why are we
not
having
vetted.
phone numbers?
Well, because maybe they want to talk. Maybe they want to FaceTime. I don't know. See what? Listen, the women have every right to give out whatever number they have. As long as I can get to you, then I could get to you. But that still didn't answer the question. And that's why he ain't going to do nothing but stress a lady out, because I'm a guy and I know what us men do. We're going to harp on something that has nothing to do with nothing because and excuse the fact that we didn't reach out to you. You know what I'm saying? Because if he wanted to if that was his observance, he could have texted her and said, hey, listen, so when do I get upgraded to have your regular number? Because it looks like I have your Google Voice number today. What do I got to do to get that? If he really wanted it, if he wanted to reach out to her, if he wanted to, he would. That's my motto.
He's
from
not
men
doing all
to
that
ladies.
for misstatement necklace. He was not doing all that for misstatement necklace.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. What he's throwing out is a red herring. It has nothing to do with anything. It's just a way to avoid the real conversation, which is why he didn't why he didn't reach out to her. So if he really liked her, he would have reached out to her. It had nothing to do with the fact that he looked at her and saw this. He's been negging her because he already told the woman her nails wasn't done the last time they met. And now here he's on to telling her that she done give him some Google phone number, So
Okay.
I just think he's not really that interested. He's just riding along to get along.
Okay, well, we're gonna agree to disagree, because if I see you have an iPhone and you text me and it's a green bubble, I'm bound to never talk to you again. Actually, I don't want to see no green bubbles. When I saw you had an iPhone and you gave me a green bubble, that's just me personally. Now, I'm pretty sure I'm in the minority. I'm very much so okay with that, but no, don't ever give me no Google Voice number.
Well, you're along with NAEEM based on his logic. I'm an iPhone person. I'm a newly converted, less than 10-year iPhone person. I got forced into it at the time because of the car I had. And then I just was like, oh, I guess I'm up and I'm stuck. But at the end of the day, I don't really care. When I'm talking to somebody, if you got a blue dot, you got a green dot. But now I think we have to be more careful because of encryption. So for people who don't have or not communicating on the same device, it's better for us to communicate in WhatsApp. So, just for encryption purposes, that's something I did recently learn.
Or I'm gonna give you my email address. If I don't trust you, I'm gonna give you my email. We can send each other a 4-page letter.
Wait, do you realize, like, they are just meeting? It's like, hey, you're a stranger. Oh, we want to talk. Here's a number. A lot of women do that. I'm surprised. I've heard, and I guess to me it's not a big deal because I've seen it with friends that I have that are women. They're like, no, I don't give everybody my number. I have a Google Voice number because sometimes they have bad experiences with men, so they don't want to give out their actual number sometimes.
But is it okay also, you know how we talk about like all things can be true at the same time? Like she had a right to give that Google Voice number and he had a right to say, I ain't texting no effing Google Voice number. You know what I'm saying? Like, isn't that fair? Like, she had every right to give whatever number she wanted, but he had every right to say, I ain't texting your god dog Google Voice number, because that's how I feel. You could do whatever you want to do, but if I find out you have an iPhone and you gave me a Google Voice number, I'm not talking to you again. Actually, I felt like I had a friend, well, I ain't gonna say too much because I don't even know who we right, but I felt like I got a Google Voice number And I ain't never been right since then. Why are you giving me your Google Voice number? Don't play with me. That's just how I feel.
Can we first ask the person why, instead of going, off the deep end about the Google Voice number? As Sean said, it could be a multitude of reasons. Maybe you ask why. Why are you giving me this Google Voice number? And then hear them out. But, Sean, was that a subtle dig, the whole encryption thing to us Android folks? Is that a subtle dig?
To be fair.
No, listen. It's not about Android. It's about Android to Android and Apple to Apple. So it was no dig at all. It was something new that I learned, that from an encryption standpoint, your data is more protected if you are working in the same provider. That's all. It's nothing to do with, I see somebody saying about working with that guy. It has nothing to do with the current presidential regime. This is all about encryption and all about data protection. That could be its own separate thing, but it is what it is. That's just something I've learned. And I've even learned that through some of the things you shared with me, through the surveys, because there was one where we talked about encryption. And I had to do a whole data thing because part of my role used to be dealing with data protection, because in banking, that's a big deal for us, is protecting information. So whatever. End to end, it's all about end-to-end encryption. Long-winded.
So we can't text each other because I'm Android, you're iPhone. It ain't gonna be encrypted. So
we can, but let's say I needed to send you my account number, or if I'm like Elsid, I owe you money and I need to Zelle you, then I would do that through WhatsApp. That's all.
Yeah.
Or IG.
You're never gonna owe me money, Sean. We good. We straight. Our accounts are always even.
Amen. Look at that.
Oh Lord. Seaway and I have Venmo'd each other. We've gone out to eat, done things. El said, don't be the head usher with me tonight.
I'm being nice to you. See, I'm being nice to Sean. And Sean is like, take it nice and take it away. Dang, Sean, I'm being nice.
See, Sean tried to ruin a wet dream. I don't know. There are some people who are petty. Like, I'm telling you, you could call me childish. I'm very childish when it comes to these gosh darn green bubbles. I don't know. It just ruins my day.
I'm ruining the wet dream, and you getting pissed off and not gonna call somebody because they got a colored dot you don't like. That is wild.
Yeah, it is.
On a dating show where you're meeting all different types of people. That's crazy to me.
It would ruin my entire day. Whew. If I text you Instagram.
Unless you have a significant ownership stake in Apple, I need you to let that go, baby girl.
Oh no, I wouldn't date somebody who had an Android. If I start dating you and I find out you had an Android, I'm not dating you.
Whoa.
Y'all. Seaway is the general counsel for Apple on the low. That's one of her side gigs. Let me tell you. The way she's capping for Apple and iPhone.
It's not even like I really rock with Apple. Like I like the Mac, the Windows computers. Like I like a good Windows computer definitely for work, for sure. I like my Windows products for certain things, but
that's a character basis for a gentleman just not date him because he's got an Android.
It's not character. It has nothing to do with their character.
Okay.
It's not their character.
It's
just a personal preference. Outside of online, my best friend has an Android, and I literally say something every day because every day I gotta wake up and talk to her on these green bubbles, and every day she tells me that Androids are better than iPhones. And every day,
Jay too. You be going at it with Jay
and me.
No, you should see the way, and Jay is, whew, Jay, when she gets dug in.
I'll say the same thing.
Whew. I'm like,
well, there's some Androids that are Windows, aren't there? Aren't there Android phones that are window phones?
There are some, yes.
Yeah,
yes, there's some.
Because the people I know, they have Now y'all gonna act like I don't know nothing. I know there was some that was Windows. They're gonna tear me up in the comments. I'm prepared.
We're gonna leave Android and Apple because they're not sponsoring us yet.
Gaslighting.
We'll let them sponsor us a little bit later on. Okay, let's obviously go into Jay and Kiara because they had a conversation as well, and it was quite the entertainment as well. So let me get your thoughts on that, Jay and Kiara.
Like lover boys, but I'm a lover girl.
You a
so,
lover girl?
Yeah.
You like the fairy tale?
So yeah,
Got
I
the
am the
fairy tale.
princess,
Right.
and so I'm speaking it into fruition.
Right.
Okay, so Jay and Kiara, I mean, they had a really nice little conversation. He said, I like physical touch. She put her foot on him. He started giving her a foot rub. He started talking. She's like, I'm a princess. Da, 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 da. She then tells us the story later on in the girls' vault that, you know, she had run out of gas. I don't know how you go in somewhere run out of gas, but anyway, run out of gas, and then Jay obviously ran it up and obviously paid for her gas as well. That's a brother who's making commitments before he's even committed, and I appreciate the strength. I hope he's going to follow through, and I hope she follows through. But what's your thoughts on this, on Jay and Kiara, their connection? Because obviously from early, she's told us she's a princess. She told us that, you know, she told us this is how it is. And that from early, he also said he likes to take care of people. So it looks like a match made in heaven. What y'all talking about? What you talking about? What y'all think?
Did you love his intentionality? His intentionality was very refreshing. It was very positive on my screen to see how intentional, upfront, direct he was, and how she reciprocated that energy. I thought it was very refreshing on my TV screen. And I think a lot of people, you know, maybe, I don't want to speak for people. I don't know how people felt about him in the beginning, but I could tell you after seeing the way that he interacted with her, I was like, this guy's pretty cool. I hope he don't make a fool out of me and make me take it back. But I enjoyed them. I enjoyed them a lot.
As I was thinking and someone is reading my thoughts, you know, this is the second season and another lady has run out of gas and one of the gentlemen rescuing her. So is this a tactic? Is this a tactic? But hey, she may not have run out of gas. It may be, you know, may have been a test. We don't know. And yes, maybe she ran out of gas because she's trying to get there, and Philly traffic, you know, it's not as bad as New York, but Philly does have traffic to the set. She could be running low and say, hey, I'm running low. And she may not have, I don't think she asked him. I think it was for him, hey, you know, follow me. Let's go here. Let me problem solve. You gentlemen say that men like to problem solve. So she had a problem. He was there and he decided to solve that problem. Now, he didn't just put 20 on it. As she said, he decided to fill her tank from wherever it was. He decided, hey, you know what? I'm going to provide you with the gas to go where you need to and beyond. So that was a wonderful gesture for him. Yeah, I'm hoping he does not make us regret this. I'm hoping that he is, you know, continue to be focused, because all we see is him focusing really on her. I'm hoping he does learn, like Rocky said, you got to work the room, because she is not the only lady there that has a say and a vote. But he's certainly letting her know bit by bit that he's definitely interested in pursuing her, and he's listening to her.
Listen, if they like it, I love it. I just, you know, similar to El said, I just caution him to not settle in so early. I don't think he is, though. I don't want her to get so locked up that she gets offended and in her feelings, like we've seen some of the ladies do in the past, when they get so invested with someone very early on, and then they get their feelings hurt, or they start running around screaming, Joel, you know, in the cabin when he's up there talking to somebody else. So I just need us to not overcommit too soon, you know, just let it breathe a little bit, move around a little bit, you know, don't get locked up, because everybody ain't Cornelius and Camille, you know, don't always work that way.
But if they get voted off because they choose each other, isn't the whole goal of this to be ready for love and to find love? So if they really like each other and they want to vote them off the show, then vote them off.
Yeah, I don't think that's what's going to happen, though. I think what's going to happen is just like what my last little rendition of that screaming is. She's going to be locked in. He's not. He's going to move around, and she's going to crash out.
But
But
he's not
yeah,
buying everybody gas. He just bought her gas.
yet
He's not rubbing everybody's feet. He's not even
He seems
offering.
very interested in
that
her.
you know about. We don't know what's happening behind the scenes. Yeah. So that's what I'm just saying. I'm just like, guard your heart. You got to use your discernment. I'm not saying don't like him. Of course, that's what I said. If you like it, I love it. But also be measured. Don't get so locked into the process, because a lot of times women, when they see a guy they like, they're like, all right, I don't need to mess around. Or I don't need to figure out these other jokers, because, you know, they don't want to have to deal with all the foolishness. But what unfortunately happens is men don't necessarily think and operate the same way, especially in an environment like this where you have tons of options. So I just want her to be careful, keep him as her main person, but she was just so quickly calling him her man.
I can agree with that. I do think women, we have to be more cautious. We have to guard our heart, and be very vigilant about that. But she gave my man energy before she even had that man. So I feel like this is just how she operates. And so I guess I just let it go, because you know me. I don't know how to even communicate with these my man folks, because I feel like they just live in a whole different delusion and a whole different world than the world I live in. So, I'm gonna let her stay there, because that's clearly where she's at. And I just pray that, it works out, and he don't make a fool out of her. But she wanted to claim her territory. She claimed it. I don't think anybody else wanted it. I think she was the only one. So I think they should work out. But why are you telling other women what your man doing for you? See, that's the goofy type of behavior I think young girls need to understand. And I'm gonna be El Cid. I'm gonna be auntie today. I'm gonna break it down, okay? The other women do not need to know what a man is doing for you, what he's buying you, what he doing in the bed. None of that stuff. Y'all telling too much. If he bought your gas, girl, be quiet, because now the next girl with her damsel in distress, breaking down cars, losing money, ain't got the rent money and the cell phone bill, she gonna be hitting him up trying to see if he gonna trick. We be talking too much.
You're right, see, when they're looking at him with his braids. Ladies have been saying, oh, his braids is this, and saying it's goofy or whatever. They've been saying that. And now here you come, they're going to overlook it like, oh, I may be able to get a tank of gas out of this at least. Gas in Philly ain't cheap, okay? Gas in Philly ain't cheap. But yes, keep quiet.
What you laughing about, Sean?
El Cid and her, well, she is not doing it, but she's just going to give you a Philly reference point. So she's being the Philly almanac. Cracking me up.
Sean, you know why I say it's Philly? That's a very polite way of saying something.
I know. Okay. Don't get the Philly people after you, because they're going to tell you, ain't everybody in Philly a particular way.
I know ain't everybody in Philly, but anyway, I used to summer in Philly from Brooklyn. I know quite a bit about Philly. So I know what I'm saying with it's Philly. It's not everywhere in Philly, but this cast is giving me the places in Philly that I have been around.
Coach, looks like you're 2 minutes from a doze off.
No. I was listening to something on my phone, but no. I was hearing it because I was hearing what you guys, ladies, were saying about obviously maybe Kiara not necessarily having to open her mouth and say what she needs to say about the situation, because she's calling herself issues, and I thought that was actually really good advice about it as well. Because I think, again, it makes it problematic for both people, actually. For her, other women can look at it, like you said, like a trick. But it could also make women want to think he could be more, now he could be someone that they actually could think about as well, Because sometimes people need to know that someone else has got them, you know what I mean? To make them want that person even more. And also not to make your competitors jealous. You know, sometimes your people get jealous and they're like, I just want to take it from you. I don't like the fact you're happy. Do you know what I'm saying to you? So some people actually do that as well. So, you know, I definitely understand what you're saying about not talking about the situation, but also as well for him too, like it puts him in a very difficult situation because even if he's talking to other women, now the standard is he bought someone gas. I think what you guys are describing happened in also Walton's season, I believe it was Walter's season. Someone bought tires. someone bought tires and it became I think Walter bought tires for Mamine. So you know this happened before, right? And it gets because people are in the same vicinity. It's unfortunate. As soon as someone says it can create some tension. Like, okay, so you did that for her, why can't you do that for me? So am I as worthy as that other person? So immediately gets into issues. So you know it's a case of like KIARA, maybe she also knew what she was doing. Maybe she also wanted to say it just to ward off the other girls. Like, this is what he's doing for me. I don't want anyone else doing it for me. I don't want you doing it for anyone else. You know what I'm saying? She like letting the girls know, but you know, it can backfire on you. You know, she should have been a little bit smarter than that. Because even if she wants to pivot too, you know what I mean? Like, if you want to pivot, but you've now spoke about this guy, you know, etc. as well. So, sorry, was it Corey? Not Walter. Apologies, it was Corey bought the tires.
Walter and Mamine wrote that song together at the piano in the resort. I don't remember what the song was, but they had that song going. And Sabrina came along, Sabrina Soul, shout out to her. She's happily married now to
and shut that down.
She was like, yeah, bang on that piano cover. I got a new note for you. I wish I could remember the song because it was super catchy and we were singing it here. Oh man, we had fun. That season was hilarious.
That season was amazing season as well. You're right. That was a good season. Stay right, stay right, stay right, stay right, stay right.
That's right. Stay right.
Oh.
Stay right.
This song was a perfect song because it was about staying right too. They needed to stay right, for real.
And isn't Walter engaged now to another Sabrina?
Yeah, that was Sabrina. She was on that. Was she on that season? Yeah, so she was on the same season, was she?
She was in Potomac.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. So, you know, it all worked out for him in the end. He stopped doing the maintenance and he found his one. Okay. Any other thoughts on that Jay and KIARA situation then? And then more thoughts? We've you know, spoken them out? Okay. All right. So, who's the last person's? I guess we can quickly talk about Fritz then, because obviously Fritz was in there as well. So Fritz obviously said he's a mama's boy. And he was talking to Rocky as well. So let me get a little clip for you guys. I think that's pretty much it. You know, we've actually conquered every.
You gonna forget about Shanice riding around with her back out and her booty out to the roller rink, and her titties out.
I wasn't gonna mention it, but since you mentioned it, you know, we'll discuss it after. I wasn't gonna mention it.
Well, let's talk more about you.
Yeah.
So, what was your childhood like? Did you grow up with both your parents?
Yeah, I split when I was like 13. Call me a mama's boy. I take it as a compliment.
I love that. All right, cool. So Rocky and obviously Fritz were talking about mama boy and daddy's girl as well. So, or girl's daddy. What was you guys' thoughts on that? You know, this conversation. You know, is it the same? You know, when you say, I always feel like they don't get the same translation. Like, when someone says they're a daddy's girl, we don't see negative tropes. But when we say a man's a mama's boy, we have negative tropes. At the same time, we don't normally say mommy's issue when we say men. We say daddy issue only for women. So, I mean, I guess there's balance and everything. There's balance and scales. What's your thoughts to that? He said he's mama's boy. The last person who said that, they've gone home. So what's your thoughts on obviously the mama's boy situation and daddy's girl situation? How did you, Elsid, please?
They said, go home to your mama. Go home to your mama. That's what I heard in my head. The last man that said that was sent home to his mama.
You really did go back to his mama. That's the problem. So
I think he heard that. I think he heard that in the mixer before. I think Fritz is playing. He's playing a game. He's playing well. He may say it as mama's boy. I'm leaning to Fritz being a ladies' man. You know, he's pulling out all the stops to romance the ladies, and it don't resonate with me, but it could probably resonate with them. But I liked his interaction with Rocky. She's like, "Hey, I'm a daddy's girl. I love my dad," and I think it was also to let him know, "Hey, I don't have the daddy issues that people may typically think." So she was good. She was asking, "Were you raised by both parents?" I think Rocky is asking the questions we like to hear and we want to hear about, and I'll have to see because Fritz ain't landing for me. It's not the hair, it's not that, but Fritz's personality is telling me he's here to play, and I need to know exactly in what way is he playing. And I don't think it's a ready to love, positive end here with a relationship kind of play.
Yeah, Sean.
Yeah, I don't really I'm not sure if Fritz is genuine or if he's just figuring out how to play the game. But he definitely seems to be liked by a lot of the ladies. So I would give him, he's clearly very charming. And I think we'll just see if, similar to what El Cid is saying, he's very genuine. Rocky, I think the mama's boy part, that can go one way or two ways. It could be a good thing if he has a good, healthy relationship with his mom. He loves his mother. And that has caused him to have respect for women. And he truly appreciates women in that capacity because he has a reverence for his mom. It can go another way if he expects the woman that he's with to treat him just the same way his mama is treating him. And unfortunately, that's more often how it works, in my opinion, because the man is so closely tethered to his mother. He expects that all women are going to treat him that way, that they're going to coddle him, not really hold him accountable. What I've heard a lot, and it also helped me to learn too, because I had a mom who kind of effortlessly did a lot of things. And a woman said to me one time, your mother did it, but do you think, was she happy doing all of those things, or did she do it because she had to, right? And I think that's just something to think about, because sometimes men who have women, who have mothers who are just, very dynamic in that capacity and just love on them and support them and do a lot, they kind of were like, well, my mom did it, why can't you? Like, my mom worked, she worked a job, she did this, she cleaned the house, I didn't have to clean the dishes, she came home, she cooked, she did this, she did that, she made the money, so what are you complaining about? And even men who've had their fathers in the home, still the mothers did a lot of the labor in the house and in certain periods of time. I think we're evolving now to just have a little more equity around the home, the management of the home, especially once you have children. But I think there's still some men with that mindset. So if that's Rocky, I think he might need to evolve, because like El Cid said, it's Philly, and I don't think those ladies are gonna be, doing all that for him. They're gonna be like, well, what you doing? I came from work, and so did I, and me too. So I just want him to, I want him to, be more clearer about what he means, or what his understanding of that is, and just have realistic expectations and not be trying to get on somebody's buddy pass.
Any more on Fritz and Rocky in the Mama Boy situation? Are we moving past that? Okay, let's move it past. Obviously, we'll talk then. See, I wanted to talk about Shanice, which is actually good, because actually she did explain to the girls as well that she had been homeless and, twice, and broke as well, and she's made it back up to the top again, and that she needed support, and she has not forgotten those people that have supported her as she climbed back up. You know, maybe she can lend some help to Carla from Married at First Sight. She needs a few tips. But I want to get your thoughts on Shanice and her perspective. Seaway said her back was out in that scene. And, you know, I got to you, she looked kind of good. You know what I mean? Like, you know, but I understand what you mean, Seaway. You know, we'll play a little clip so you can see that as well. I don't know if I got a clip, though. It's hard to catch it, to be honest. But let me see if I can get you one.
Whoa, come on.
You see?
Okay, here we go. Got you a clip. There we go. All right, cool. Here we go. So obviously Shanice and I'm about to call him Kofi Scribo because you guys were saying it. And Hussein. Here we go. Let me put my
Whoa, shoot, how slow down. Oh, we gotta get a little bounce.
Hussein, he's somebody that I feel like is one of my top.
I can't lie, that dress was definitely not the right dress for what they were doing. They're meant to be skating. I said that it's not even an open back. It's the fact that the chest is, seems a little bit unsupported in that area. Anything can go on before you know it, pop, pop. You know what I mean? So I thought it was a little bit of a dangerous top, but hey, you know what? If it was summertime, would I be complaining? No, it probably looks like it's normal when it's in. But hey, you know, let me leave it as it is. What's your thoughts on Shanice and Hussein and their connection as well? Because she said she liked the fact that he's tall and, you know, he said he would grab her if she was going to fall, you know, like it was Spider-Man. But I want to get you guys' thoughts on that as well. Yeah, Sean, you nodding your head. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because he wanted to grab her for physical support, you know.
To lean on me.
I'm not one on for the skating, you know, because I could be a little clumsy. Fun fact. So the last time I skated was a few years ago, and I quickly gathered myself up on the side of the rink and migrated right on down to the by the hot dog stand. So yeah, but for that get up that she had on, I'd be out there. You know, and I'm almost glad, not that I'm glad she showed it or that she wore it, because could she have had a little bit more covering up? Sure, but it let us see the more fun side of her, because the last time we saw her, she was all buttoned up. She had gloves and a cloak. She was looking like Whitney Houston and the Bodyguard. She was just all covered up and cloaked up and gloved up. And then she was talking all business. So I think in this date, we got to see the more fun side of her. We got to see like her body is incredible. And I believe she's 44 years old. Whew. Chef's kiss, you know? You know, so I liked seeing this side of her for sure. And I think Hussein seems to be saying all the right things. You know, seems to be a safe place for her. But just like I said about Jay with KIARA, you know, lean in, get to know him. Don't fall too fast just yet, you know, but definitely, you know, looks like they're getting along swimmingly. Although Hussein was in a lot of the ladies' tops, so he's saying a lot to a lot of the ladies, making good impressions. So I hope she doesn't get too overly invested. I didn't see her like doing the same thing KIARA did, per se, but you know, that's just my little to it.
Seaway, what's your thoughts? You're the only one that brought this up. What's your thoughts about Shanice? I mean, she looked good. The back was looking good. Back was looking toned.
I mean, I love the outfit. I mean, her body was tea. Everything was tea. She looked phenomenal. I just didn't understand why that was worn to the skating location. I mean, I don't know. Do what you got to do not to go home, I suppose.
Wow, what do you think? Why do you think it was not the right time for the skating arena? What was your thoughts about that? Was it not the right time?
I've never seen nobody wear nothing like that to a skating arena. I never in my life. A backless, braless, no, never in my life. But I mean, again, for before somebody says it, she looked good. Her body was tea, everything was tea. So before y'all say that, I'm not saying she didn't look good. I was just interested at the choice. The choice is confusing me. That's it.
I hear that. I just want to just, you know, I think, you know, just I hear what you're saying. I do. I mean, shit. But I hear what you're saying. Elsid, what's your thoughts?
I'm thinking Hussein was. I kind of looked at him sideways because he knew it was wrong attire when he said we got to put a little bounce into it. I was like, okay, I see what you're trying there. I see what you're trying to do. It kind of rang alarm bells. This isn't what people usually wear at the skating rink. But hey, she probably thought that she could be cute and just be there, not have to get put the skates on and roller skate around, because as you can tell, she's not comfortable with it. But she did appreciate, she tried it, and Hussein said, hey, I will make sure you don't fall. And that is something that resonated with her. And I'm thinking, because if we listen to her laundry list of businesses, I'm thinking she's showcasing the fashions that she also makes and sells. So I'm glad it resonated with her. When she spoke from the heart in the ladies' lounge, I would have liked to have known where that came from, because yes, Hussein saying that he won't let her fall is one thing, but to lead further into the conversation, it didn't connect for me, and it may be my ice cold heart. But I was kind of like, production, where was the rest of this conversation? Because it felt like I missed some kind of beat. But she is very thankful for everyone who has helped her, and he did help her in tough situation, making sure she didn't fall. Unlike other people pushing their partners into a fall while they're on roller skates. Okay.
I appreciate it, Elsid. Any other thoughts, guys, before we bring it to a close? No? All right, cool. Well, first of all, I want to also thank someone very special. They are a big appreciation on this channel of late. I know you guys don't know who they are, but listen, they've been doing so much work, especially on this channel for the last few years. They've got a big community, a big team. I don't know how they do it, but they are amazing, and I want to thank this gentleman here, because I don't know how he does it, but he be recording every damn show there is on the planet for the black shows. I'm just gonna be honest with you, with his own lifetime, he's on every show that black people watch. Somehow he finds a way. Sir, whoever you are, keep eating the noodles that I see you eating every single time as you're watching these shows and recording. We appreciate you. I don't know who you are, but I want to thank you. You know what I'm saying, Chu? Because he be recording every show there is to record on this YouTube. If I find a show, he's recorded it already. I don't know how he does it. He probably does the football that I watch too. But listen, I appreciate him. I just wanted to give him a big shout out. Mr. Deacon, could you give us a benediction? Let's be out of here. Wait, I got a super chat. Sorry, Nicole Joseph said, a super chat said, lol, her speaking about gas reminded me of Legion. Lame. Who the F did I marry? Hope she doesn't become blindly impressed by that gesture. And I hear that. DJ sent in a 199, said, great conversation. It's always appreciated, DJ. Thank you so much. Who's been part of the conversations as well. Okay, all right. Someone asked, how does that guy not get flagged? We don't know. He's got many servers. Don't worry about that guy. He gonna find a way if there is no way. Okay, that brother is resourceful. Okay, I don't know why he leaves his face after he records, but he does. He lets us know he's eating noodles all the time. Sean, give us a benediction.
That was so random. They said don't air him out to get his channel taken down. You won't have no.
That nigga's got 1.77 million people. What do you mean air him out? He's already been. If he's not getting aired out by me, if they haven't found him already, that make no sense. He got 1.7 million people following him. Please, he'll be fine. Yeah.
That's insane. Oh my goodness. Well, God bless him. So I don't know if I have a whole lot. Name. What you say now?
I said, don't answer the channel name because I don't know what it is.
Oh, okay. Just go, hey, listen, you're going to go back to the screen and, rewind for the people watching. and try to find them from there. But nevertheless, I don't know if we have a whole lot to benedict. I think we are starting to see the couples mix and mingle. We might have learned a few light lessons. I think the first lesson we learned, we can share our emotions, but be measured and also be prepared that some folks may not receive your emotions very well. But hopefully you will be embraced. Hopefully, people will allow you the room. If you have a moment of vulnerability, you'll land in a safe place. But just be cautious. If it's with a stranger, it might not always land, depending on who that stranger is. Then right on over to, what else did we talk about? Okay, right on over to Deonna. As much as you can be kind to the people that you like, just remember just to be kind to the folks that you're not. Rejection is a pill best delivered lightly. You don't want to deliver your rejection with a horse pill, or a jagged pill, as they say. So just be ginger, be kind. No need to, ram rejection down somebody's throat. Put yourself in that person's shoes. Then we have Eddie and COLEY. As much as it's nice to be aesthetically pleasing to the eye, we want to make sure that we balance that with substance. We let people know our intentions. We let them know what we're here for. And we share how we're looking to grow and move forward on this love journey. Then we have SHANICE. Listen, I had no problem with her choice of outfit. However, just make sure that when you're dressing to protect yourself and protect others, let's say, because sometimes what we wear can be a distraction or can lead somebody into a path that we don't want to lead them into, and allow that person to see your true beauty without seeing all of your beauty all at once. Then we have, for our dearly departed Wayne, look, if you got to sit with that lady, sit with that lady. Before you enter into a dating process, sit with the lady.
My husband, Gideon, is joining me today for chit chat. Relax.
Oh, what the heck?
My bad, I'm doing research behind the scenes. My God.
Like, okay.
I'm researching for another video. Sorry, apologies. I was watching another video to research for another video to do later on. I'm not going to bed early tonight, so my bad, bro.
I was looking
I
around
have
like,
it on shared.
I broke into my house because I'm looking and I see El Cid and Seaway on you.
I apologize, bro. Sorry, I was trying to research behind.
Wrap it up.
I apologize, bro.
You just bumbling and fumbling and mumbling about nothing. Wrap it up. Okay, well, listen. Last but not least, be kind. That was some of my last advice to Deonna. Be kind. Be kind. Be kind to be loving. Don't cut people off.
And pay attention, clearly. Add that one.
And but on to our good friend. I forget what his name was. Oh man, what was the guy's name? Oh, Cam. Yes, my last bit of advice is for Cam. Use your words to describe what you're looking for in a relationship. Be clear and be intentional. Please try to avoid buzzwords, but look what express yourself. Use that. We got the English language is so beautiful. Let's use that to describe what we're looking for, especially when it comes from men to our women. What are you looking for? Falling in line. Typically, those are marching orders. So I just want us to be a little bit more clear, and that could be something we work on in terms of our communication. Back to you, Coach.
Yeah, thank you, Sean. Sorry about interrupting you as well, Junior Benediction. Apologize, guys. That's what happens when you're not concentrating. So yes, I'll make sure I'm in session next time as well. Listen, audience, thank you so much for joining us today. Shout out for those also who gave towards the gifted memberships as well, DD and Phil. We appreciate you for gifting the audience as well to be a part of the conversation. We're back tomorrow night. I think we're gonna Love is Blind. I was gonna do it at 5 p.m, but I have to do it at 8 p.m. because unfortunately I'm gonna be at an event, so I have to do it at 8 p.m. So tomorrow at 8 p.m. you'll see. I'm gonna put it up today, so you can see it as well. It'll be 8 p.m. EST for you guys, so you can watch. So we can talk about Love is Blind from episode 7 to 9. There's betrayal, there's cheating, there is people already starting to text people and saying that they blocked them for some reason. They don't want no one to know who they messaged or whatever. So there's a lot happening. You know, so we definitely gonna have a lot to talk about tomorrow. Obviously, myself, Elsid, will also be talking about Married at First Sight Australia. I'm gonna be doing that in between me stealing sessions at a show I'm doing, so I'll definitely be tuned in and ready to talk about Married at First Sight. I need to even watch that later on as I'm traveling to London. So, but yeah, listen, we got some shows tomorrow. So tomorrow, Married at First Sight Australia, 3 p.m. EST, pretty much, or 3 or 5 p.m. EST. And we'll also be talking about Love is Blind at 8 p.m. EST tomorrow. So a lot to talk about. Some of you have asked me to chop up these lives, so I will be chopping up the lives as well. So you will start seeing them being rolled out on my channel during the course of the week. So that you guys can watch the more shorter parts of the lives that we do as well. So I've got a lot of work to do over to Monday. So you'll start seeing that on Monday. Some of the lives from Married at First Sight, Love is Blind, Ready to Love. I'll chop them up and make them smaller so you guys can watch it in bite size as well. All right. So yes, we. I know that I supposed to put 100. I have to put it next week after. I'm going to be tapped this week, so I'm going to go back to our usual schedule time, the first week of the month. So Thursday night, first week of the month. Because I was going to do it on the 28th, and I realized the 28th is the last of the month, and we also had it at the beginning of the month. So on the 6th of February, which is a Thursday, we go at 8 p.m. We did it at what time? We did it at 7 p.m. We did it at 7 p.m. So that was it. 7 p.m. EST. So 7 p.m. EST. We have our 100 club. I'm making it free for everybody, so please, I'll put it on my community page, the first one of the year. I want as many people to come through to the 100 club, have a conversation, have fun, and just have a vibe, man. Do you know what I mean? If you get enough people as well, I can do my on my Zoom. I can do it on smaller groups. We can do our little individual rooms like we did as well. So it makes it a bit more fun, a bit more intimate as well. So make sure you come through. I will put a link in the community page as well, just to remind everybody, so we've got enough time to get as many people in to the Zoom call for that month as well. And then obviously next month we'll make it paid again. But so we look forward to seeing you guys and seeing you guys soon. And so yeah, that'll be it for me today. And then we'll see you, all right, tomorrow night. All right, okay. Much appreciation, Wayne. If you're listening to me, stop that nonsense. 5 to 7 days is crazy. You're not Amazon, and even they do Amazon Prime. So I appreciate you. Stay locked, stay loaded. We gonna see y'all soon. Okay, don't do anything I wouldn't do. Okay, all right. Appreciate y'all. Stay locked, stay loaded. Bye bye.